or move the camera. Of course, I'm going to be back like this. I'm going to have to be over here. We're still kind of backlit, which is weird.
Maybe it has something to do with the door being open.
Maybe.
All
right.
Let me.
Also, if I bring this lamp closer, the lamp where that is. Does that make it better? Yeah, it makes it a lot better. Okay.
Nice.
Now we get to see if we're actually live.
Oh yeah, we're live.
Okay. I'll be able to keep track of super chats on this thing.
I was going to ask you. I was like, this looks like it's going to be challenging with the computer all the way up there.
Yeah.
I'm going to hold for.
Yeah, we can hold for sound a little bit. My videos. There we are. Mute this. Okay. So anytime you need to look at this, or if you can.
Do you want me to just hold the tablet?
Yeah.
So you don't have to worry about it?
I use the tablet to keep track of the super chat questions.
Right.
Those are kind of far away. Is there a way to? I don't know how to do the MacBook. You gotta something with zooming in. Oh wait, it's Chrome. I think I don't want to take a tour of Mac OS Mojave. Later, don't remind me. Where's the zoom button? You were there last time I looked. Apparently, there's some big Nintendo thing going on right now.
Yeah, Direct. But we're legendary for
interrupting.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because
what's Nintendo Direct?
It's where they go to announce all their like new games, because they used to go to E3 like a normal video game company and announce all their games at the expo, the industry expo. But now they have their own thing that they just air live, or they stream it live, and it's called Nintendo Direct. And yeah. So we're up against that now. Although, to be fair, like we were up against the Rogan that had Elon Musk on it. So, who really,
in the face.
We're great at this. I'm pretty sure we were up against at least like, I don't know, some kind of political debate of some kind.
That makes it easier.
I feel like the audiences are significantly different for.
I mean, you'd be surprised.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of crossover.
So. Yeah.
Okay. Nick's in the shot I just zoomed in. Can you see that? I mean, you can see.
I mean, I have it open on my phone if necessary. So
Justin, you can see the computer there. Can you make out that text?
Yeah.
Okay. And then I have this here to keep track of super chat, which I don't think exists yet. No. Okay. All right, guys, we're almost ready to get this started. Can you, hope you can hear us fine. You can probably hear us fine. We're going to hold for sound now for people going to be listening on iTunes. And I'm going to have to remember to, you know what? I really better get a mic stand for this, because holding that and this, it's going to be hard.
Yeah.
Feel free to talk to the regular chat.
All right. So sometimes I basically, in the middle of the night, will wake up and have an idea for a joke to use. But when I wake up fully the next day, I won't have remembered getting up in the middle of the night to record whatever it is I thought was relevant enough to say. So I'm trying to figure out. Nope. I'm trying to think. Oh, whoops! And now I'm doubling myself.
What you really want is a new hat. You think you want a new relationship, but what you really want is a new hat.
Like, what what did I even mean? Like, I must have woken up at like 3 a.m, half groggy. Let me open up the voice recorder on my phone and say, what you really want is a new hat. And I'm just like, but what does that mean within the context of anything?
I mean, it seems like you want a new hat.
Maybe I do. Maybe I think I'm spending all this time, going on dates on like OkCupid and realizing that what I really want is a new hat. Like, let me just get a new hat and everything will be better.
Ah, Brian, you idiot. You weren't thinking, were you?
Man down.
All right, how's the Zoom doing? Doing fine? Okay.
Life rolls along. Nothing to beat yourself up over.
If you're looking for a new hat, you got these on the website, primedriven.com.
I mean, people are having enough time telling us apart in the chat already.
I know those comments are like, that's not wrong.
I'm saying double here. 4 Romans. And we're all bespectacled. It's great.
Yeah. All bearded, bespectacled. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
It's a look. It's our look.
So, people listening on, you guys are hearing us through the computer's microphone testing, but people out of which are going to hear me. Now I got a Zoom mic here. Okay, Nick, test your audio.
Test. Testing.
Me. Nick.
Hi. It's testing.
Me. Justin.
Testing 1, 2.
Justin is on channel 2. I'm going to give you another click up in gain. Again, test Justin.
Testing 1, 2.
Oh, yeah, that's good. Okay. You ready for hold for sound?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Holding for sound now.
Welcome to RCR podcast number 57. Give it away now. We are here with Justin Burnash from PrimeDriven.com. I'm Nick.
I'm Brian.
And I'm Justin.
Yeah, well, welcome back to the podcast. This is our first ever 3-man booth. Well, for lack of a better term, I can't really think of what else to call it, even though it's not technically a booth. But we're finding a way to make it work. You're hearing, well, the people who are watching us online right now live are hearing us through the onboard mic, but the people listening after the fact on Shout Engine, iTunes, wherever else, they're hearing us through the Zoom, barring any other catastrophic audio difficulties, which knowing us is very much on brand for us. But hey, live and learn and then get loves. I don't know. I talk in.
You're going to be hearing me, and there may be some audio bleeding because I export this all in mono. But you're going to be hearing me through a Zoom microphone, like not the brand Zoom, but a literal shotgun mic is what I'm talking through, which is weird. Oh, actually, it's not weird because there's no phantom power coming through mine, although it is boosted in itself. My gain on me is cranked all the way up, whereas these guys are, Justin and Nick are through the traditional sort of studio mics. So if I sound a little bit different, it could be that. Or I could have just avoided all that and say that I'm getting over a cold. So anyway.
Well, I mean, we're all getting over something.
Oh, and that's, I'm doing the healthy thing by drinking gin right now.
And I'm drinking ginger tea. So,
Justin has some water. Normally, when Justin were here, we got shit housed last time we were here on all sorts of microbrews, which is normally modus operandi for RCR late at night. Is just me drinking stuff. So we're going to be talking about me living with a tuner car for a week. We'll be taking your MR2 questions. We'll be taking your super chat questions. I do want to talk a little bit about the Freddie Mercury movie, which is really, it's like, damn, that's good.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's not an accurate documentary because I've been a Queen fan since like middle school.
Yeah.
So there's that. And then, of course, we'll talk about Prime Driven, how your company is expanding as well.
We're actually coming out with a Queen sequel. It's not well known. Not really.
I mean, there
Um,
is a story to tell about about that band after Freddie passes, but I mean, why would you really bother?
That's the funny thing. Queen is still existing. I mean, it's
Yeah.
Roger Taylor and
Brian
Brian May. The bassist, Deacon.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I said I was a Queen fan. I don't know the bassist. The bassist left to do his own thing.
Yeah.
And so it's just them plus Adam Lampert right now. And then there's that new sound-alike guy who emerged from YouTube. Something Marty, people in the chat will say who he is. But there is this American guy who has like the facial structure of Freddie Mercury, and he sounds creepily like him.
Wow.
In fact, when you're hearing Malik sing in Bohemian Rhapsody, the movie, you're hearing this American sing. So that's how they did it. We have our first super chat question. George Bull McLean says, "Hey guys, I just want to say your channel really helped me get through a bad time recently. Can you say my name as Harold Slavinsky, please? Thank you." Well, hey, George Bull McLean, I'm so glad you've come to my class. We used to have this little theater in New York City. You could sit next to other people, but it was a blackout theater. That means you couldn't see anything. They even taped over the exit signs. And I'm telling you, George, sometimes they allowed you to, you might get scared in this being all by yourself because every single seat was all by itself. But they had put a hole in between you and the next guy, so if you wanted to, you could reach out and grab. Because that was a legit story that Schwartz told.
Yeah.
Like Harold Slavinsky is based off of this film professor we had, and that was one of his stories I've heard in every single class that I've been into. So yeah, glad this channel got you through some rough times, man.
Yeah, thank you.
So I'm going to pause here. Oh, Burgundy Burnouts. This guy, Burgundy Burnouts, he shows every time.
Every time.
Do you remember what he was building the last time? Or he's still working on it?
Was it an LS swap something or other?
No, but
no. There was a lot of LS talk in the last one though.
Yeah.
No, what was it? I forget.
It is a car that's normally LS. It's a Firebird, but it's not being LS.
The EJ.
Yeah.
Yes, I do remember that.
A full WRX all-wheel drive Firebird.
Yes.
How
goes it? Do we have progress report?
He's in the chat. He'll tell us. He says Nintendo just showed off a trailer for Zelda Awakening remake for the Zelda's Awakening remake for the Switch. Well, there goes my social life. Also, ending in Rhapsody was shit.
The editing. Yeah.
Editing.
Which is funny because typically when you want to win an Oscar for Best Picture, you need to have the Best Film Editing nomination. And it's one of only like 4 of the 8 Best Picture nominees that actually got a nomination for film editing, which is kind of just silly to me because that was, okay, it got the film editing nomination for the last 20 minutes. Like, let's be serious. It was the Live Aid concert.
Yeah.
And that was the entirety of it. And, it's Bohemian Rhapsody's not going to win Best Picture. Like, it's statistically, like, it would be unprecedented for something to just, no. Like, Rami Malek is winning, but nothing else. But, like, the idea that would be cited for its editing is kind of silly to me in a weird way. And also the whole, like, Bryan Singer thing.
It looked like I edited it. Scene.
It really was. This was like, I remember they're doing the concert montage of like, oh, now we're in Rio.
Yeah.
Now we're in, and it's just
kind of skipped over Sun City.
Yeah.
When they played apartheid South Africa.
They skipped over a shitload in there and then put things out of sequence. Like certain songs coming out before they actually did, and others, like,
How do you get that stuff wrong?
I mean, I'm not even like hard into Queen. Like, I love Queen, don't get me wrong, but even I knew like some of this stuff was wrong sitting there in the theater.
Yeah.
And it's strange.
It's tragic.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like you said about like when they make these movies about a lifetime of events. If it's
Yeah.
a auto bio, or if it's the band, you're trying to cover like decades of events in 90 minutes. So like they miss almost all of like the kind of really interesting stuff, and then you just end up with a highlight reel.
Yeah.
Like the Jobs, when they tried to do the Jobs movie with Fassbender,
Yeah.
it was just literally about the launch of the iMac.
Pretty much. Well,
That was it.
Yeah.
And like I've read his bio. Like the bio is fantastic.
And Fassbender's amazing.
And Fassbender's great.
Yeah.
But I was just like, I like both pieces of this formula, and I didn't like the movie at all.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, that was not
Well,
really that interesting.
Well, also,
But it was an interesting idea on trying to just take one piece and do 90 minutes on one event.
Yeah.
You know what I
Well,
mean?
I mean, it's a movie split in 3 parts because you get like the failure of the Next, like the discovery of Apple, and then it's just this strange thing. And then what really bugged me is that Kate Winslet has this accent that like disappears. Like she starts off with this kind of like Slavic type, like Eastern European type
and then it goes
accent.
away. Yeah.
And then she's just like has an American accent for the rest of the movie.
Yeah.
And it makes no sense to me. And I had to go online to make sure that like, did other people hear this? Was it a conscious choice that she was making? Well, I don't know.
Hamza doesn't have a question, but just thank you for your donation. And I know our camera is way far away, so Justin, if you ever want to speak directly to the camera, it's way over there. So we can get the whole futon in the seat. And feel free, if at any time you see in the regular chat going by, you see like an MR2 question, feel free to answer it at any time, because we are seated here with Justin Burnash from PrimeDurban.com, the MR2 shop for really the East Coast of the entire US, which brings us to the Evo, because you told me that you've become almost saturated. You're so successful as an MR2 shop. Your SW20 builds with the Gen 4s are the one to have. So where do you go from here? And you branch out into other manufacturers, and you began with Mitsubishi with the Evo that I've been driving for now a week and a day.
Yeah, I mean, just in terms of pure visibility, because we spend a lot of time and energy on that. We had gotten to the point last year where it was giveaway number 8 was 8 MR2s in a row.
Yeah.
And, everybody liked them, but we started getting a lot of requests for, can you do something different?
Yeah.
And you can only make an MR2 build so different, without making it just not an MR2 anymore.
Right.
So we were like, all right, well, what would make sense to do in the winter?
Mm-hmm.
What would be the one of the best possible JDM, complements to an MR2, because you can't drive your MR2 right now, unless you're in California or Texas or something.
Right.
And then it's turbo, it's 2 liter.
Yeah.
And I'd never driven an Evo before this one, and I've driven lots of WRXs, lots of STIs. And those are great cars, but the first time I drove the Evo, and ours is just BPU, like there's nothing crazy about it, so that you can actually use it.
Yeah.
I was just blown away by the steering responsiveness and the power.
Yeah. Everybody I've lent this car to 3 different people, 2 mechanics and one my friend Matt Walsh, and all of them complimented that this is one of the greatest steering boxes I've ever felt.
Yeah,
and it all down to that suspension. The car is not okay. The car is lowered about 2 inches. Mm-hmm. It has, I forget the manufacturer of the coilovers that are
just
on
Megan Racing.
Megan Racing coilovers.
Super fancy.
But it's not stance.
No.
It's not cambered out.
No, it's street alignment.
The wheels are a little bit farther out.
Yes.
And I noticed when we drove it through the slush, the fact that there's a little bit of tread outside of where the fender is, it tends to throw it. Now there is mud flaps in the mud flaps. They do what they can.
Yeah.
But it tends to dirty itself a little bit.
Yes.
Yes. But where was this car when I was 19? This is
in Japan. It was still in Japan.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
When was the 9 the first one we got?
The 8.
The 8 was the first one we got.
Yeah.
So
it was in Japan when we were 19. Sadly. But I mean, obviously, like I wouldn't have been able to afford one. Like when they came out, with dealer premiums and stuff, they were like, kissing 40 grand.
Even on the used market, these things were like 20 grand.
Yeah. I mean, 20 will get you like your your nice, solid car, maybe a highly modified car that isn't as nice, or a nicer car that isn't as modified.
Yeah.
We try to stick with, basic, bolt-on stuff because that's our forte.
Right.
That's what we're known for. Our cars work.
Yeah.
And are fast and fun.
Yeah.
But they have to work first. But yeah.
The thing about the horsepower,
I would have killed myself in that car if I had it in high school.
Right.
100%. Even as
The
amazing
second
as
that's
it
at
is.
home, when that turbo
Yeah,
comes up, and that's the stock boost, it's 20 fucking pounds.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
I'm driving home, it's like, this is ridiculous. And also, people's in the modern age of where every LS is making 600 horsepower, this thing crank is 3. They said it was something like 280 from the factory. In reality, it's more like 300 at the crank.
The gentleman's agreement that Japan's always had.
Yeah. This thing's clearly 300, 310 at the crank. Stock. And you think, and this, hold on. This is 2006 when they were doing this. And then people got all, their manginas wet when the Civic Type R came out with 300 horsepower. Like, dude.
Just now.
Like, Mitsubishi was doing this a decade ago.
Yes. Yeah.
So.
And it was all-wheel drive, so you could actually put the power down. Vaguely near a corner.
Yeah. And the cornering is amazing. I don't have the ability to drive what that car can do. I mean, on a back road here today, I knew this was the last day, so I won't say the road I went on, but
we know. Yeah.
I went on it. I'm doing 80. I'm like, I don't like. Who's our friend from Austin? Monica Harrison could drive this car well.
Well, she could drive the shit out of that car.
Yeah. The difficulty for me was it's so cold outside. Those are race brakes on it. And it sounds like a train is coming to the station every time I slow down. Those brakes have to get hot before they shut up.
Yeah.
And
they're not even crazy. They're not like a crazy pad or anything. It's just the drilled and slotted and the huge Brembo calipers. Like, they're just noisy. Like, I have a bunch of Porsche buddies at the track the same way.
Really?
Yeah.
It's just what you deal with. I like the gear shifter. It's stiff and it doesn't click into gears. It goes clunk into gears. And I see we have some Toyota questions going by in the super chat. We'll get to them in a minute once I finish talking about the Evo.
Yeah.
I drove it in the snow last night in Pennsylvania. We had about a good 5 inches last night. The plows came through, but I went through after the plows, and then I got nice hard packed powder in a parking garage in a parking lot I won't talk about. I clicked that thing in the snow mode. For those people listening on YouTube, you know that one Top Gear episode where they had the Evo 9, and he clicks that very button that says tarmac, gravel, or snow. I put it in snow, and you can clutch kick it, and it will make this big controlled 4-wheel drift. And I'm like, this is amazing. And then I immediately thought I could just do this in all the streets were snowed over last night, but there was it was packed down enough that the clearance of this car has about 4 inches of ground clearance.
Yes.
Could still drive. And I could just drift every single corner in this controlled, like just pushing it, make it start losing grip, but the computers, as Jeremy Clarkson said, would just take care of everything for you. It's a remarkable car, and it's going to send me to the metal clink. So you're driving this thing home tonight. Take this car away from me, man. I'm not a fan of the 93 octane filling it up every time, and if you want boost,
you gotta have 93.
There's no two ways around it.
Yeah.
Volkswagen,
this is no Forester.
Right. Volkswagen has done a good job with their turbos having it run on 87, but that's purely for fuel economy.
Yes, because then they're turning the boost down, they're pulling timing, they're adding fuel, they're doing all that just to make it hit a number.
Yeah.
Oh, I have a question from the regular chat for Justin, who is apparently the only Justin I know. Or have ever known.
Number one.
It's strange. Like, I don't know any more Justins in my life. But it is from Mustang Midas. Mr. Burnash, great to see you again, sir. MR2 related question. Have you seen or performed an engine swap in an MR2 with more than 4 cylinders, i.e. an LS or V6?
Good question. Have I seen? Yes, I've seen everything. I've seen a 5-liter V12 or a V12 BMW motor that was in the A50 Ci. But that never worked. They're too long. Like, you have to make a tubular rear end of the car in order to do anything longitudinal. Guys who tried LSs, again, you have to do a tubular rear end. Without cutting up the car and building basically a whole new rear of the chassis, the big V6 is the 2GR out of the Sienna and the RAV4 and the Camry and the Highlander, and then, pick every Toyota that has a V6 in it. We've done, a few of those. We were never really big fans of them. One, because the cost is for an MR2 guy massive. Like 10 grand in parts is
that's cost prohibitive.
Generally more than most guys' cars cost, or at least did when they bought them. But the problem with any NA motor in an MR2 is once you put it in, that's basically as good as it'll ever be. You put it in a turbo motor, and you could put on a bigger turbo. Then you can put on bigger injectors. Then you can put on standalone. Then you pull the motor and do forged internals. These are all things that aren't wildly expensive. Several $1,000s will get you there if you already have a turbo motor.
Yeah.
So you can just turn the boost up. You can't do any of that with the NA motors, especially if you're talking about a Toyota V6. Yes, I know LSs can be tuned all motor to make a bunch more power, and you just drop in a cam. This is not an LS. So yes, we've seen them. We've done them with the exception of the V8s because that is way beyond our skill set of building tubular rear frames.
I apologize here. I dad clicked with my tablet. Nick, can you pull up the super chats before O. Schmidt? I'm going to answer O. Schmidt's question.
All right.
If you can scroll back up so I can get them.
O.
So O. Schmidt asks, "Hi guys, I sent you an email about a PC. A PC I can give you as a streaming host. Just search my last name. Also, are you guys doing a New York City Auto Show 2019? I am very wary about giving out my address for people to send me things. People have asked to send me things before. RCR has, thanks to Patreon, RCR has a budget for things like maybe a new digital mixer or a new computer. This MacBook will be our computer because it's given me for free. I've thought about getting a PO box, but I hesitate doing that because a lot of YouTubers, and I think we were talking about this one time, there are YouTubers who just have a PO box and people send them stuff and then they talk about it.
Yeah.
But I don't need things in my life. Well, I need a bigger garage. That's all I need.
Yeah, we both agree on that fact.
Yeah.
I don't need things unless it's a bigger garage to put more cars in.
Yeah.
It doesn't count as a thing. It's more like a person.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, things will only take you so far. I think. Now, the one thing that I would sort of recommend as a possibility is having an Amazon wish list, which people will probably, it's a public list. And then if anyone wants to buy you that, like, they purchase it and it gets sent to you, but they never know like what your address is, or at least way I understand it. But then again, it's like, I would feel weird about it. Like, wouldn't you feel weird? Like, because it sounds like, hey, you know me from the internet. Buy me things.
Right.
And it's like, I don't feel like I can make that type of demand on people's hard-earned finances. I mean, I'm thankful for anybody who comes into this little chat and, gives, drinking money or, that's money that they can use to get, a sixer of hams, the vomit.
Yeah.
Or churning stomachs and such.
And question, also, are you guys doing New York City Auto Show 2019? Yes, we are. Yeah. I've been away for a year. I want to do it again. I have a very special idea of a video that I'm going to enjoy doing. Hopefully Patrick George will help me out doing it. Did you see the pictures on Facebook that Bieber suspended all service? Yeah,
but now apparently Klein has taken over.
Who's Klein?
They are...
For people who are wondering, we're talking about a bus service that runs from Kutztown into New York City.
Basically, the way that we would always get to...
It's like, no, Justin Bieber service.
For the New York Auto Show, we would always take the Bieber bus, leaving Kutztown, going to New York City. But Bieber ended its run effective immediately after 72 years. They were in the hole, some 6 figures in debt.
Really?
Yeah, they were super in the hole. And basically what ended up happening was, because people commute to New York City for work.
Yeah.
And to Philly and other places. And suddenly, you're SOL because you don't have public transportation. If you don't have a car, you can't get anywhere. And so I think for now, until they come up with a more positive or permanent solution, I think Klein is taking over, which is, I can't think of any other company that would. I know that there are some, of all things, limo services who are offering to like take charge. It's like lighting the beacons of Rohan or whatever. It's just, the beacons are lit and Gondor will answer. I'm probably getting the line wrong, but it's Lord of the Rings. But I think either way, we're going to be there. Don't know how, but we'll get there. And I'm looking forward to the New York Auto Show, as I do every year, just because I love auto shows in big convention halls. I like convention things, which is kind of weird because I went to the Philly Auto Show for the first time over the weekend, as you may or may not have seen in the video. And yes, very much so.
Thank you.
Oh, absolutely. And like basically what it was the realization that when we go to the New York Auto Show, they have a dedicated press day where it's only press and media people. You don't have to deal with other people being there. And so you can make a video without having to worry about people being in your shot. Or if they are in your shot, they're adults and you can politely ask them to move. You know what I mean? And not risk having that thing where, did you just tell my child to move? Oh, yeah. You want to go, bro? You want to go? We'll step outside tonight. I'm fisting your ass tonight. But like basically I didn't want to do any of that. Yeah. So I was just waiting for people to move around. And so a lot of those were just like single take jokes and a lot of things that like I cut because I didn't get to do another take. And it's just when I was done with it, I'm like, I'm never coming to an auto show where there isn't a dedicated press day. And I know that is like the most first world like BS that a person can possibly say of like, oh, woe is me. I have to, go to an auto show with normal people. But, it's, I don't know. It's not conducive to producing content, I guess. Or at least not efficiently, I suppose. Because there's a lot that I didn't get to see just because, well, I mean, I got there late, so that was kind of on me. But long story short is I did enjoy myself at the Philly Auto Show, and I hope to go again. It's just one of those things where I don't know that if I did go again that I would necessarily make a video about it. I just go to enjoy myself, But,
Good answer.
Here we go.
Sean Kirby. Oh, yeah. Did you find questions? I know your phone took a dive there.
Oh, yeah.
Did you find stuff before O. Schmidt?
Yes. I have to quick go back to my screenshots. And there was one that was a $1 donation from Hamza with no questions. So thank you for that. Followed by a $2 donation from Hamza with Sloppy Mechanic Review Part 2.
Yes. Coming up next week, we have a sloppily built vehicle. That's a hint. It's good. I gotta tell Jalopnik about this one because this is one for. It's a video that already went. It's almost at 1 million of the initial build of this vehicle, and now we got to drive it. I can't say what it is because people like the surprise. Yeah, but it's good. And then. Possibly next Wednesday, we're going to go out to different Justin.
Los?
No. Matt Happel. One of his creations. And in fact, I can talk about it here. It's the Infinity with a 4.8. It's an Infinity with it's a G30. We did one of them, the Infinity G something.
37X.
Yeah. I got a promotion at Deca Battery, and now I got this. But this guy has an Infinity G37, but now has a 4.8 LS with a 1.6 liter blower on it. Jeez. It makes 300 foot-pounds of torque at idle. Right? He says it spins all. And it has a Tremec 6-speed in it, and it spins in 4th gear. It's completely pointless.
But that's the whole point.
That's what Happel does. Okay, you have one after
that. Did you do a Kyle Clements yet?
I can't remember.
It was a $5 one. So how is your spine after driving the Evo for a week?
No, I didn't answer that one. Right, my spine is fine because it's been a week. the Recaro seats are very good in that car. They hug you, they keep you still. I would need a lumbar pillow if I were to daily this thing. Just something a little bit in the back to help you, just because I'm pushing 40. So that's what I would need. I think modern Recaros are a little bit better, but the race seats, and they don't really, the thing I like about that Subaru does is it has the little lever there that pumps out the lumbar support.
Yeah, these are more of effectively a dedicated race seat.
Yeah, they're definitely a bucket.
That is reclinable.
Yeah.
But they're more comfortable than I thought they would be.
Yeah, me
like
too.
When you look at them, you're like, that's a lot of bolster.
Yeah.
And that's not a lot of other considerations.
No.
Then you drive them and you're like,
these are good.
This is more comfortable than I thought it would be.
In the turns, they keep you in front of the wheel.
Yeah, in the turns, you're happy about them.
Yeah.
But we are not of the 20 years anymore. So when I was 19, I would have loved those seats.
Oh man, that's my favorite childhood memory of like not having pain of like random.
You remember that? I can't even. Hold on, let me try. No, I got it.
Yeah. I do have another question that I think is Justin oriented, although it's not a super chat. Is it possible to put the MR2 engine inside a 97 Tercel?
Okay, a 97 Tercel is front engine, front wheel drive, while the Caldina was front engine, all wheel drive, and your 3S GTE USDM one is mid engine, rear wheel drive.
Yes, but they're all transverse inline 4. The Tercel, guys have done this. There's a couple of our customers down in Puerto Rico where they have many varieties of craziness, my kind of craziness. And there is a guy with a Gen 4 3S GT in a Tercel. Obviously, it's effectively undrivable because of torque steer and traction.
Okay.
The point of it was that it was ridiculous.
Yeah.
But it works. Yeah, you're really just making mounts and then cutting some stuff off to put an intercooler in the front. Like gutting most of the front bumper area.
Yeah.
Guys can leave the stock top mounts on and just throw a scoop on there. But yeah, I mean, yes, you can do it. It has been done. I don't know how much work it took him, but we've done enough custom swaps with motors and cars you're not supposed to be in to know that if you have fabrication skills and you could do a set of mounts and a wiring guy, everything else is academic.
Yeah.
It's time. That's like a lot. Most of the time goes into all the other stuff. But as long as you can physically put it in there, you're okay. The LS physically doesn't fit in the MR2 engine bay because it needs a transmission attached to it.
Yeah.
The motor fits in. Guys have dropped them in. They're like, hey, look, it fits. Well, how are you going to drive the wheels?
Yeah.
Oh, no. It's just to prove that the engine fit.
Yeah.
Well done.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is there another one after that before?
No. I've got nothing.
Oh, very good. Sean Kirby says, this is another Prime question. Hey guys, love watching your videos, especially the Prime episodes, since I also film the cars.
Yeah, Sean's done all of our giveaway videos.
Oh,
yeah.
Hi, Sean.
Greetings.
How's the Evo compared to other Prime cars? Okay. The Evo will only go in 6th gear if I romp and watch the boost gauge come up and then chop it off. I am a fan of the fluttering over top of a blow-off valve. I would rather have it flutter than a blow-off valve. I know people, that's their Sega versus Nintendo argument as far as turbocharging goes. Sorry for coughing. I would rather be in an SW20 than that Evo because the SW20, even yours, have more ground clearance than that thing does. And I think some of yours have been dropped.
Yeah, I mean, like our giveaway cars are mostly all body kitted with lips.
Yeah.
So interestingly, because of the overhang, how far the SW20's nose sticks out, you would have a harder time with the SW20 with the same amount of ground clearance. The thing with the Evo that throws you off is because at stock ride height, they will clear effectively anything because it's designed to be a real car.
Yeah.
But they just look a little goofy. And really the reason we lower it is just so it looks better.
Mm.
And like around me, like, I mean, there's nothing I can't go in or over. But once you start having snow on the ground, and you have some aggressive driveway angles, then it is a lowered car, even though it's stock bumper or stock lip. But yeah, I mean, Yeah, that's funny that he asked you SW20 or Evo. It's like before I drove the Evo, I would have said they're so uncomparable that there's no, you can't choose between them because the whole point of them is the exact opposite. Having driven the Evo so much now,
Yeah.
they're actually more similar than I thought they would be. Meaning the Evo is so much better to drive than I thought it was going to be, even though they are legendary for being amazing drivers cars.
Right.
I really didn't expect it to be so fun.
It is
I expected
fun.
it to be an all-wheel drive car.
You can drive the Evo all day and not go into positive manifold pressure if you take yourself, if you calm yourself. With a 4th gen,
yeah, you can't do it.
You can't.
You can't stay out of
Spool.
boost.
You can't stay out of boost. It's going to boost immediately.
Yeah.
Which is why I like it better. Iced Ink says, car chase scenes in books are boring. Change my mind. Gladly. Theodore Dreiser, The American Tragedy. There's a car chase in that book that works. Because Theodore Dreiser is in fact talking about manual spark advance. In this very, very wordy book from around the turn of the century. The car chase takes, they don't say whether it's Prohibition era, but given that the police were on motorcycles and they were coming from what might have been a speakeasy, the police would have been on motorcycles made by Pope, I think, which was a motorcycle manufacturer.
Yeah.
And they were in some sort of maybe Packard, I don't know what, 4-seater. And there was a crash that happened in the snow. It takes place in St. Louis. That was a car chase that works in print. Currently reading he's currently reading Jack Reacher book, Bad Luck and Trouble. Wait, let me read this verbatim. Currently reading by Jack Reacher book, Bad Luck and Trouble. And half the book seems to be Lee Childs ranting about the Honda Prelude.
Yeah, Jack Reacher is one of those, American James Bond-esque characters that was created by an author whose name I can't remember at the moment, but he's played in the movies by Tom Cruise, and everyone had a shit fit because Tom Cruise is too short to play Jack Reacher. But apparently people like the movies somewhat, considering that, Tom Cruise, okay, maybe he's crazy, but the man makes good movies.
Yeah.
Yeah, his movies are eminently watchable, and I know we've been through this topic before. But
I know. You go watch Tom Cruise movie, your popcorn bucket's going to be empty at the end.
Yeah, exactly. You're going to get good action. You're going to get some crazy stunts because Tom is determined to die on film. And,
100%.
Yeah.
I do all my own stunts.
Yeah, it's like his kids won't get his pension unless he dies on camera. It's like, it's just, I don't know.
That's a condition of his will.
Yeah.
I'm going to add some honey to this because this will probably help my cough.
Oh, go for it. Yeah.
In the event you run out of this question, that's the next one.
Well, I actually have a question on here for Justin, which is, what is your, it's from Logan McLeod. It is, what is your honest opinion on RHD SW20s?
Right-hand drive, yeah.
Is it worth getting one of those versus a high mileage domestic model? For a clean, relatively low mileage imported one, what do you think they are worth?
That's an interesting question. So, is it worth it? Well, if you want a really low mileage MR2 for half the money the domestic one would cost you, and you're okay with it being right-hand drive, they're a heck of a deal. That being said, just like any other car, the imported cars some of them are really nice, some of them are really not nice that are made to look nice.
Yeah.
So just like anything else, right? Like it's still a used car, it's still sold by a dealer. Just because they're JDM imports doesn't mean there's some kind of, enthusiasts. They may be, but I would say if you want the nicest car possible for the lowest dollar amount, then the right-hand drive cars, even at their now a little bit higher prices, are way cheaper than the equivalent mileage and condition USGM car would be. However, the likelihood of a right-hand drive car being repainted is very high. Most of the ones we've seen have been, and most of them weren't that nice of a repaint.
How do you think that is?
Because over there, it's a $1,500 car.
Oh,
Literally, the nicest right-hand drive, MR2s on, the really nice, importers websites are 13 or 14 grand. like 40,000 miles, 93 turbo, like red, like black leather, like everything you would want. And then they have the GT models, which they also have, the suede centers, the power folding mirrors, the power fogs, like all kinds of cool stuff on those cars that we never had here. So like if you want something that's more interesting and is a better value in terms of pure dollars, then a right-hand drive car makes sense. But you got to be careful which one you buy, because we've had a lot come in where guys bring them in. I call it the other PPI, post-purchase inspection, instead of a pre-purchase inspection. And they, like 50% of them, we go through the whole car, we give them a write-up, and they're like, if I'd known that it needed that much stuff, I wouldn't have bought it.
Yeah.
And a couple of them have given them back. Now, that's because they thought it didn't need that stuff. It's a 25-year-old car.
Yeah.
Maybe, there's a little bit more kind of awareness of what a 25-year-old car is going to need, regardless of mileage.
Yeah, you have to be kind of expecting there to be a
Yeah,
catch.
but most guys, look, like most JDM car guys, like you're spoiled with the fact that most JDM cars are hilariously reliable from the 90s.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, you just expect that it's not going to need anything. I bought a low-mileage car. It's going to be perfect. Just like when we were still swapping cars, people were like, oh, they did an engine swap. The whole car's new.
Yeah.
Like, no, we did like several hundred parts out of thousands of parts that are still 27 years old. Those need to be addressed at some point too.
Yeah.
But mileage doesn't necessarily determine condition. On the flip side, a low mileage car is more likely, to be in good shape.
Yeah.
But better value, if you're just talking dollars, yeah. You just got to know what you're looking at, which
is difficult in pictures.
Yeah, like in pictures, you can't tell. I can make, like these guys are masters at this. Like anyone selling cars, you can make a 5 look like a 10 if you take the pictures right.
Yeah.
It's not hard. Like
I did that when I flipped motorcycles.
Right?
What I would
that
do,
sound
here's a
awesome?
nasty thing. I made old tires look new by, in Photoshop, desaturating the tire to make it look gray instead of brown.
Villainous.
That's sly.
No, but that is very crafty. And if you are able to flip on profit or at least break even, then you've done the right thing. And Lord knows people are probably enjoying those bikes to this very day. Or maybe not. I don't know.
The only time,
Or not.
the only time, like one guy bought my bike for my asking price, or I resettled for a price that I agreed for. But when he looked at it and said, "Oh, this bike looked more colorful in person," and then I did really up the saturation to make that orange pop. Anyway, Firefan86, excuse me, $2,900 MR2 on eBay right now. Like for buy it now price. Well, that's an NA, and it's ratty as hell.
Yeah, MR2 is just like any other car. Go pick a car from the 80s or 90s, and there's a $1,000 one, and then there's a $30,000 one. All right, maybe not all of them. There's $30,000, but $1,000 to $20,000, you could do many 90s JDM cars.
Yeah,
like there's horrible junk, there's perfectly good, and there's Survivor show cars.
Yeah.
Most of them fall between horrible junk and perfectly good.
There was a question in the live chat that I wanted to run by you guys. There was someone asking if this is related to a giveaway, and if it is, how do we go about, entering for the giveaway?
Yes.
So I'm guessing this is the platform.
Yes.
Yeah.
So my company, PrimeDriven.com, we are an MR2 specialist that gave away 8 MR2s over the last 18 months. We got requests for a different car, so we did the Evo 9 MR for the 9th giveaway. So all you have to do to enter is go to our website, PrimeDriven.com. I don't know if there'll be a link in the description after the fact, but PrimeDriven.com, really easy to get to. Google us. Everything will come up us. And just shop the store. Every dollar you spend is one automatic entry to win. Deadline to enter is March 3rd at 11:59 p.m.
cool.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And we give you $5,000 cash on top of the car. That way you can, pay to title it.
Very nice. That's cool. And RCR viewers have won in the past, so you never know.
Yeah, number 5 and number 8.
Yeah.
We're both RCR views.
Very nice.
Workforce 520. Hey, man. See you in like 2 weeks or something. Oh, wait, no. I'm seeing you when I come back from New Zealand. It's a fan who said, hey, let's hang out. He's in LA. I'm like, yeah, sure.
He's got 10,000 miles to go.
I kind of want to go to the Comedy Store. Hey guys, stuck at work. Here's a few bucks. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thanks for the few bucks. Rupan RX or Rupan prescription. Not sure what. Oh, I dad clicked.
Hang on, I can pick up where it was if I can find it. Oh, all right. Rupan RX. Thoughts about Papo's garage putting K20 into a first gen MR2. He's the crazy Civic guy. And thank you for $4.99 US.
They're looking for my thoughts on that?
I suppose, yeah.
I wasn't even aware of it. I'm so not in touch with the K market because we don't know it and we don't do it.
You'll have to answer the next ones because I lost them all here on my tablet. I'm also going to go Martini number 2. You're welcome to any. You're not a gin guy.
Not a gin guy.
Okay.
More of a rummy.
I am going to make some of my own tea because I think the ginger is too acidic for my sore throat. I'm just going to make my own tea and also make myself another drink. I will be back.
And I'm screenshotting all the super chat questions just in case, because you never know. But yeah, you don't really pay attention to the K scene at all.
No, because I don't know anything about it. Like I know Ks are also motors. I know guys make 1 million horsepower out of them. It's not relevant to what we do. Like knowing about the Ks doesn't help me provide better service to our customers.
Yeah.
If it doesn't help us as a company provide better service to our customers, then we're really not interested.
Yeah.
In general, it's cool. It's interesting. It's fully custom. Most people are not aware of how much work goes into putting a K in MR2.
Yeah.
Even though there are some plug and play parts, it's basically like the plug and play parts will get your motor in, and then you got to make everything work.
Yeah.
And a Mark 1, like guys have put them in all motor before. Okay, there's enough room to do that. But if you want to slap on a turbocharger or something like that, which you obviously do, then you're dealing with no room. The front firewall is really tight on a Mark 1. It barely fits the Gen 4 3 SUD in it. It's like right up against it. So, a Mark 1 is a 30-plus-year-old car.
Yeah.
Believe me when I tell you, it cannot handle more than 250 horsepower because we've done it. And it was very entertaining. It wasn't good or useful.
Oh, I can believe that.
So it went beyond what our criteria was for, quick and works.
Yes.
But yeah, I mean, guys do all kinds of crazy stuff. Like find somebody with a bunch of skill and a bunch of time, and the sky's the limit.
Yeah, it's.
You got enough time, you got enough money, or one of them, you could do anything.
Well, I mean, like the mechanics we know, they all have their areas of specialization.
Mm-hmm.
Hen's garage, he's got a lot of Ford stuff in there, but it's not the same as, say, a doctor having to, get their license updated in some respects to account for new changes in medicine. Normally, within your area of specialization, and please correct me if I'm wrong, if it doesn't benefit your immediate area of specialization, it doesn't actually benefit you to know it necessarily. Like, it might not hurt, but it's not going to do anything for the expansion or proliferation of your business.
Yes, 100%. Yeah, I mean, I have the luxury of being pretty, deep down into one specialization and not really having to worry about the other stuff, because, that's what we do and that's what we're known for. Yeah. But ultimately, I can't bring more value to our customers by learning about K stuff. Yeah. Because the amount I would have to learn and then we would have to physically do to learn, because we don't do anything that we don't sell almost anything that we haven't ever personally installed on a car.
Yeah.
We sell what we know. We give tech support on what we know. Like, I don't know. I can't tell you how to make 700 wheel horsepower in MR2. I can tell you the parts you would need, but I can't tell you how to do it. Like, I can't tell you exactly, what you want to do for XYZ.
Yeah.
But I can tell you how to build an awesome, 250 to 350 wheel MR2 that will work every time. And will be 90% as fast in the real world at regular speeds. Like, you can't use 700 horsepower in MR2 anywhere but the highway in fourth gear.
Yeah.
Period. Unless you're on a drag strip on slicks.
Yeah.
Like, you just can't. It doesn't work. Like, at 350 wheel, the MR2 is right on the ragged edge.
Yeah.
Of, like, on street tires, on just your basic coilover, of being, like, still fun and usable and not scary and dangerous.
Yeah, not grenading everything in there.
Yeah,
You know,
like
it's
you
just-
go above 350 wheel, you're playing with fire on a 3S GTE unopened.
Mm.
Obviously, K guys can go 500-600 wheel, unopened. Just slap a turbo on there, throw some fuel in ECU. Like, yeah, because the heads flow amazing. They have no knock, they have no detonation.
Oh,
Like,
really?
Yeah, I mean that's one of the reasons they get away with. That's why the Evo can get away with so much boost on pump.
Ah.
And MR2 is knocking at 18 pounds because the Evo's head is way more efficient than the 3S GTEs is.
Even
So
the
it can
fourth
run
gen?
more. Oh yeah,
Oh,
oh, yeah.
okay.
Yeah, I mean, and the 4th gen being the most efficient, it's still Evo's way more. And but I mean, it was it was built. The Evo was done 10 years after the Caldina.
Okay.
But 25 years after the 3S GTE original.
Yeah.
So it's not obviously not a fair comparison.
Right.
But the K series, same thing. The K series was a 2000s engine.
Yeah.
And Honda built their entire reputation and brand on all motor power. In order to do that, you got to have a head that flows.
Yeah.
Bonus, you throw a turbo on top of that, now you got lots of power. But yeah, the K stuff is cool. Like if I was just an enthusiast and it wasn't a business where we only have a limited amount of time and energy and money to put into things that are going to help or not help our customers.
Yeah.
I don't have FU money,
Yeah.
and time. It's really just the time. Like I can't tech support a K. I can't.
Yeah.
I'll send them to someone who can.
Yeah, you're not going to see the return on your investment in the time spent educating yourself about it.
No, and the customer's not going to see it.
Yeah.
Like I'm just not going to be effective because I don't care about it.
Yeah.
It's cool. I think it's cool.
Yeah.
I've still never driven a Turbo K MR2. I'm sure that's a lot of fun, but it's not something that I'm interested in doing due to the payoff for the customer on the back end. Like there's just nothing I can do for them that hasn't already been done by somebody else better, which is half of why we invented swaps or did manufactured parts or the various things. The giveaways, like we had customers asking us to do giveaways for 2 or 3 years before we did the first one. And the problem at that point was we didn't have an e-commerce website that worked well enough to do it.
Mm.
The infrastructure wasn't there. And we weren't shipping a lot of parts at that point. So we didn't have the infrastructure internally to be able to fulfill orders from all over the place,
Yeah.
On a regular basis. Like we were building cars and then shipping parts out at lunchtime for years. Once we went to not building cars anymore, unless it was a giveaway car and just shipping parts, now we can handle it. But it's still a ton of work. Nonstop emails about, an order or change something, or, oh, I forgot to add this. It's very time intensive. It's very rewarding when you get more than not, we get thank yous from people. More than not, they're asking us a question they've asked on the internet, other places, and haven't gotten an answer, period. So they'll just say thank. I'm always amazed people thank us for just replying.
Mm.
I'm like, what would be the alternative? Not replying?
Yeah.
But I mean, if you're a big company, I guess that is an
Yeah.
alternative, but you'd think you would just hire some people to reply to Facebook messages and emails. Like, it's not that hard.
Yeah. Well, I had to turn off messages on the Facebook group because I run the Facebook page for regular car reviews because people thought that's how you got on the show. And I was spending like 3 hours a day just saying, no, this isn't how you do, or well, thank you for your interest. This is how you get
Control V.
Yeah, it was Control V just
yeah.
going down for like 70 messages or some crazy number. And after that, I just closed the thing and then put a little note that said, for all inquiries, whatever, here's the email address. But
And even I have in one of my bookmarks the video that explains how to format your email so I will read it.
Yeah.
And even like I've seen some interesting cars and I looked at it and it wasn't formatted correctly. And in my head, I'm like, sorry, man, I'm deleting it because it's just going to go away. Because the way we choose cars is one of two things happens. One, it's local. So I will type in, and don't do this because you're going to be a dick if you do. I type in Lehigh Valley, Allentown, Reading, Lancaster, Harrisburg, all these areas around PA who could come to where we are. Or if we're going to be in Pittsburgh, I type in Pittsburgh, Indiana, Pennsylvania. Or in the case of when we went to New Zealand, it helps if you put the country. Honestly, the most important thing is the fucking city. or the biggest city near, because if you're in West Ball we're never coming there. We're coming to the place that has an airport.
I've been to West Ball Lake. It's right next to Casper, Wyoming.
Again, they got
Oh, no, that is
chipped
West Ball
beef.
Lake. Yeah.
Well, no, and the big thing is, and one thing that people even will ask me on my personal social media is, I sent Brian a message and he hasn't responded to me, and I'm like, well, unless he's doing your car, he's not going to, because otherwise his entire day would be consumed with thank you for your offer, but I can't. And also, but here's the other big reason that you probably haven't heard back is that sometimes we will travel somewhere, a car will fall through, we'll type in the area that we are at that moment, and hopefully, you know, we'll have a list of cars pop up. And that email might have been sent 2 years ago, but we'll respond and say, hey, by any chance, do you still have it?
Are you available tomorrow?
Yeah.
That's how that one video of the Buick Park Avenue that we're racing around the racetrack.
That's how that happened?
There was a day before we're at a bar and like, we need a car now. And this guy was in the same town where the bar was. He called me and it's like, yeah, I got a final tomorrow, but I'll be back the second I'm done with the test. The test came to the racetrack. It's like, this is the craziest day. I was just taking such and such final, and now I'm out on a racetrack with this car I bought for my grandma. So that was a great day.
So yeah, like if you don't hear back, doesn't mean you'll never hear back. It's just, you know, we prioritize local, and also, you know, it's
a Pennsylvania show.
It's a Pennsylvania show, and also, you know, there's only so many hours in a day, and you can't spend hours getting back to everybody. So,
well, and if I could offer something from my viewpoint of, I spend all day, every day, except for Sunday, which is only a little bit of the day, replying to emails and Facebook messages just for my little MR2 company that runs, you know, Facebook ads and Google ads and YouTube ads. But like, you guys have over 600,000 subscribers on YouTube. You have to spend most of your time physically making the content and then editing.
Yeah.
And that's, I never understood. I never appreciated how much time that took. It's wildly time consuming.
Yeah.
And then coming up with stuff, creative stuff at the same time. So basically, you have to write, direct, star in, produce, and then deliver, and then distribute a show, an entire show.
Yeah.
I think having done the giveaway videos and the amount of time and energy that goes into a 60-second video, I'm like, God, when do they even sleep? Forget about doing emails. I sit there and only do effectively emails and Facebook Messenger and Instagram, and it's all day, every day. And I'm who am I?
Yeah, and I mean, I think we're fortunate to kind of have.
We're fortunate that there are two people.
Yeah, because
these guys who do it. There's a reason DeMuro, and God love him, I love him, makes long videos, because he doesn't have time to edit. He's one guy filming everything on a camera on a tripod.
Yeah.
For him to actually set up shots, do rolling shots, this stuff. Some people harp on him and his videos are all the same. Dude, it's tough to make a video. That's why the video for that we're talking about that's going to come out about the Evo 9 was made completely VO, because in order to actually stage shots would have taken days. But I played to my strength, which is a bit of improv, a bit of dirty humor, and satisfying a particular character, which I said would never return, but is returning in spirit. He's the Malik version of this coming back.
Yeah, that he's there, you know, just in
he's not back, but he's the next best thing.
Yeah, he's there.
Like the almost Slavinsky.
Yeah. You know,
well, it's going straight on the glass because I don't have a thing, but
it's a thing.
Whatever.
Actually, wait.
We have a whole bunch of super chat questions before we have to get to Aaron R. Abro.
I have the next one. If you don't have it, the one after the.
I lost everything up until Aaron R. Abro because I dad clicked.
All right. So where is that? Is that the most recent?
One that I have on my tablet.
All right. So this one is from. Let me just pull it up because George Bull McLean again, £5. Thank you so much. Or Yeah, 5 pounds.
5 pounds?
2006 Mini Cooper convertible, official car of.
Fisher Cooper, you can't believe I bought this car for $5,000? What a deal! What's that noise? Check engine light, electrical problems. But I thought Minis were good cars. Yeah, they're good. They're good leased cars.
Yeah.
True story.
I love Minis. Minis are freaking great. They're great to lease. Like the John Cooper Works Mini is probably the one to have.
Yeah.
But gosh darn it, BMW, because you're buying a BMW, and they have a lot
budget BMW.
Yeah.
A budget version of a budget version. Yeah, I leased a Mini back in the day.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I had it for 6 months, and then I got bored with it because I had MR2 turbos already at that point. So the Mini, while great and a phenomenal chassis,
Yeah, it's great.
really like shockingly good. Like the autocross, they were
Yeah.
hilariously always looping.
Yeah.
They were always spinning. I was like, how are you spinning a front wheel drive car? And then I drove one. I was like, oh. But my business partner Brian had a Cooper S, supercharged. I think it was a 05 or 06 before they went turbo, and it was really nice, blue, well taken care of. Like you know, like we know what we're doing when we're buying cars. He knows even more when it comes to those kinds of cars. And I mean, it wasn't. He didn't have it for a week before like the whole front end came off, and like timing chain guides are done. And there was like a known clutch issue or whatever, so that was already happening. But he sold it because even for him, with our shop at his disposal, that's just not an efficient use of time.
No.
Yeah,
And if you were paying a BMW mechanic to work on it, you would be better off buying an Aston Martin.
Yeah. Here's the thing: BMW emphasizes the driving experience, and they had their whole ad campaign about that. But you can't build that to a budget. Toyota can build a cheap budget fun car to drive at the expense of some rattles and things in that. But in the middle of a corner, you don't care about all that. Well, BMW does care about that. But by doing that, they cut corners in other places, and that's, gosh darn it, is longevity. And shout out to the YouTube channel Adler the Eagle. I know that guy daily's a Mini Cooper. It's not a JCW. It's not a Cooper Works, but it's just a regular one, but it still is a turbo. My advice to him is the second you pay that car off, drive it like you stole it, and the second you have a big repair bill, put it up on Craigslist. You're done with that Mini. The guy lives in Illinois. Muncie, Indiana, tons of snow. He loves the Mini, and why wouldn't you? It's a fun car, and it, for whatever reason, I don't think they. Some people are gonna be pissed about this. I don't think they ride all that great.
No, the S's ride horrible.
Yeah,
that's how they get the handling. It's because it's not a real BMW. The Germans, particularly BMW and Porsche, are the only ones. Brian and I talk about this all the time with Japanese name shirt. My Brian. Yeah. I was have to qualify. The Germans are, Porsche and BMW specifically, are the only ones that have been able to do since the 70s ride quality and handling. Yeah. The Japanese have to pick one. Yeah. To this day, I mean, I don't know. I haven't driven a brand new like F Series or anything, but you had to pick one. Yeah. With an MR2, right? Like it's an old car, it's a small car, it's a light car. Like it's going to be bouncy if you want it to be really crazy in the corners. Yeah. The BC coilovers are great compromise. It's pretty good ride quality for way better handling. But if you want it to be mushy, it's not going to handle that great. Which is why from the factory they had all the bad reputation stuff of their snap oversteer and whatnot. Yeah. They had 14-inch tires, 60 profile, and a 4x4 spring. That was low profile for the day. Yeah. And it was, but like, every time I get into one of those, like bone stock, I'm like, this is undrivable at speed. Like, they weren't lying. It was terrible at speed. If you're a phenomenally good driver, it would have been entertaining. Tiff Nadell loved them. Yes. And when they came out. Yeah. I mean, he's a race car driver. Yeah. Yeah. So, like, you put, like, Ayrton Senna helped, not engineer, but, set up the handling characteristics of the NSX. Yeah. The NSX is even more oversteering than the MR2. It just doesn't have any torque. Yeah. Do you want to move this book? Actually, I was going to do a little bit of this.
phone is at
Audio engineering in the middle of it. One thing everything. I've been binge watching old Queen videos. One thing they did nice in when they were doing the Live Aid bit in Bohemian Rhapsody is that in the real one, Freddie Mercury adjusts the audio of the piano, like the mic in the piano, and they did it at the exact same time. Like that little bit, that little pick the dial was good.
That was fantastic. And hey, by any chance, did you see the movie The Ballad of Buster Scruggs?
No, I didn't.
It's fantastic. It's on Netflix. It's an anthology movie of just short stories set in either the Old West or the American frontier. It's by the Coen brothers.
Oh.
And they're really well done. Tom Waits is an old prospector. Like, it's a fantastic movie. And yeah, it's some very haunting stories, some very moving stories, but highest recommendation. I don't know. That just popped into my head because, talking about movies and stuff. But are we good for the next super chat?
Next super chat. Yeah.
All right. The next one. Oh, and thank you, George Bull McLean, for the question. Larimer Films offered $9.99. So thank you for that.
Thank you.
Need used car advice for single mother friend. 3,000-ish budget, automatic, safe for her 2-year-old, reliable commuter, and cheap to maintain. Besides Toyota Corolla, maybe a PT Cruiser.
God, no. Not the PT Loser.
Or what else? And that's the question. Also, my phone is at 69%. Nice.
What's their budget again?
$3,000.
$3,000, yeah. And they said $3,000-ish.
Which means less than $3,000.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you're not getting a vaguely modern Civic for that kind of money. You're getting a Corolla. What else, though?
She doesn't want a Corolla. She needs something that's slightly larger. You may get
$3,000. You really get to decide what you don't want,
right? You may be getting yourself into a RAV4. You're getting yourself into a real shitbox Subaru for $3,000.
Yeah.
Most good Subarus start at 4 or 5. Nicer ones at 6. They hold their value. Does Hyundai still make wagons?
Wagons?
Yeah. Because if you're buying a Hyundai wagon, you might as well just get a Toyota again.
Well, yeah, because the Toyota's decidedly better.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
Hyundais are way better than they used to be.
You may be able to. Okay, I don't recommend this, but I'm going off of this by what normally picks me up in a lift. The largest sort of mid-size / low end of full-size cars is a Nissan Altima.
Yes.
Nissan has shitbox transmissions. Justin Kramer hates their transmissions. The second that transmission goes, get rid of the car.
They also rust like a mother.
Really?
Nissan's almost brand new. Like,
really?
Oh man, one of our old mechanics, he was a Nissan Master Tech.
Yeah.
And he used to tell us about it. And I was like, how could a 3-year-old car like have significant rust? He brought one in one time, like a friend's car.
Yeah.
It looked like a 20-year-old MR2
Ew.
in the Northeast.
Ew.
It's because like Nissan is effectively like, I always say, Nissan is what would happen if America tried to build a Toyota. They're like, this metal's good enough. That coating's good enough. Just put it together, put it out the door. We're gonna make money on it. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, that's to know that you're saying anything but a Corolla tells you everything you need to know before you ask the question. Man. It is a Corolla.
Kia Soul.
You have a kid.
Kia Soul.
Kia Soul. That's style. That is style.
That's my. If you're not going to get a Corolla, which you should,
yes,
for $3,000, that's the best car you can get.
Well, I mean, but also like,
why not
a Corolla?
It's the same argument every single time when I tell people Corolla is like, that's a boring car. You want a boring car. You want a N car. Like, hey, my phone's ringing. I knew this would happen. Someone was gonna hold on. Let me put it on. To accept, press 1. I told this guy I would answer this thing on hello. Oh, hello. Can I put you on speakerphone? Wait a minute. I have to put you on speakerphone. I think I dad clicked. There's this one podcast called Fitz Dog Radio, and this guy has a policy of he if he gets a phone call on air, it's Greg Fitzsimmons, a comedian. If he gets a phone call on air, like while he's recording, he always puts it on speakerphone and always goes in the podcast. I'm trying to get you on speaker on my iPhone. Are you still there? Oh, thank you so much for doing this. For those of you listening, yes, we are on air right now. For those of you who are listening, there's some guys in Australia who wanted to interview me, and because of the time difference and their schedule, they had to do it now. So, it's like early in the morning for them, but it's almost night for us.
Yeah, we have a bunch of customers over there, and tech support with them is always a ping pong game of 12, 24 hours.
Okay.
So we're on.
Oh, what the hell? I took the wrong. Okay. Australia, this is Canada?
Well, I'm glad we meet a lot of you. Yes, James from Brooklyn House in Toronto.
I'm sorry, the accent threw me. There's some other guy. Wait, are we the same guy? Is this? Bring me back to baseline because I forget who I'm talking to. I'm dreadfully sorry.
That's fine. We won't be drinking tonight. I'm James from Throttle House.
Okay, Throttle House. Now I'm back on schedule. Thank you. Hi, how you doing?
There we go. You're not come to Australia. It's a bunch of bumpkins, mate.
People are asking when I'm coming back to Australia, and the answer is sometime. I don't know when. Anyway.
It's great. If you like Sheilas and you don't mind Black Widow spiders and funnel webs, it's great.
I guess I'll learn to adapt. My one friend Juliet Johnson from Carterton, New Zealand said, "Oh, we're going to a big party in the Gold Coast. You should come when you visit." And I'm like, "Isn't that a bit touristy?" And she's like, "Yeah, don't worry about it."
I would like to add to your $3,000 conversation if that's possible.
Oh, please do.
So we just bought for the equivalent of about $3,500 2006 WRX for the Channel 2 Rally.
Okay.
So there you go. So your Subaru comment is half true because it is a Subaru and a box, but it has yet to be proven to be shit.
It's a good thing, but a mother, is it a single? Was it a single mother?
Single
name?
mother.
Yeah,
Single mother. You're
2-year-old.
asking her to put 93 to put premium gas into a daily.
Yeah.
Yeah, we wouldn't want to thrust that responsibility on her.
But also, it's what's.
That's true. And when I do sometimes go to a single mother, being a single mother because of my stature and frame, I still find fine because of that gas.
Nice. Well, if the performance means that much to you, I don't know. I could get on a soapbox about the differentiation between the Gen 4 and the EJ20 and why the Gen 4 is better than the EJ20.
True story.
Yeah. But excuse me, sorry, my cough. Let's get to your call. And we're setting up an interview, yeah?
Yeah, so the reason for my call is that we have a video coming out on Wednesday, which is a 2006 WRX versus a 2019 WRX, and is it worth the extra purchase? And I think it would benefit everyone if and we actually took footage with a GoPro from the perspective of Mr. Regular.
Okay.
And I think it would be great if we could fill that in with some of your voiceover.
Okay. I can do that.
Yeah. But I started to figure out what you would say, but then I realized that you're such a unique and creative individual that there wasn't enough acid in the world to get me to the hot dicks level.
You referring to the Super video?
Yeah. Can you send me a low-res version of a rough cut of what you have now?
Oh, I'm going to send you an 8-bit version because I like Pokemon.
Okay, good enough.
Yeah, it's going to be great.
And I can come up with some VO for that. If you want to give me any beats or any topics or specific words you want me to hit, put that in, and I'll work it into the narrative.
Okay, I will do that, but it's gonna be Disney level. No, the hot pictures have to take a vacation. We're family friendly.
Oh.
Before 6 p.m.
So lukewarm dicks.
Room temperature dicks.
Yeah, like kind of like burrito after a burrito level of dicks.
How much innuendo can I speak?
We can discuss that. We can give it a go.
Okay.
We can trim it down.
Okay.
Okay, awesome.
Because I can say very clean words, but when I add the gravelly voice, an entire meaning gets smeared on the top of it.
Oh, that's the beauty. That's the beauty. I would expect nothing less.
Today's episode is sponsored by the letter I and the number 9. Like that.
There you go. I'm slightly pale and erect. I think that's what the regular call
I was circumcised sideways.
Is he only slightly parallel and slightly erect?
Okay, thank you so much. Thanks for calling me.
All right, have a good night, guys.
All right,
Have a good
thank
one.
you very
Good
much.
one.
Cheers.
Okay, all right, bye-bye.
Oh, apparently, one of the super chats we missed way early.
Yeah.
Was my girlfriend who gave us $10 to go to Sheets.
Oh, I know I saw that one.
I saw it and then it was gone.
All right.
Yeah.
I should still have it, so it was probably just
That was it. That was the whole thing.
ish on
It was
it.
here's for Sheets later.
Well, I took one from the regular chat real quick. That was, well, thank you to Justin's girlfriend for the generous Sheets money. And now for something completely different. Sidekick streams. What's the best car to accidentally defecate yourself in?
What?
Like, I don't know if they're, well, I mean, obviously they can't possibly be being serious, but I would think, but you
Or have they seen the other guys?
You know
Yeah.
what? If you're gonna shit yourself in a car, buy yourself a hearse. That way you have an excuse. Human body lets loose the bowels when it dies. Buy a
evacuate.
sheet. Buy a used hearse. Yeah, it smells like shit. That's what happens to old people. Or an ambulance. You know, when we were on the Lemons route, well, Nick wasn't there for this, but I wouldn't ask you to go for that. You know, the Lemons rally, and this is a Joe Rogan quote who's quoting somebody else. Some things are fun when you're doing it, and some things are fun when you're done. The Lemons rally is a lot fun. It's a ton of fun when you're done. 6 days in a Yugo, man.
Yeah, it's kind of the George R.R. Martin quote that I always come back to of, I don't like writing, I like having written. And but except I do enjoy writing, but it's more fulfilling to kind of have it, to be looking at it in retrospect. Like when we're done writing at the cafe, I kind of look at everything and it's like I'm surveying a kingdom of things that didn't exist like an hour ago.
Yeah.
You know, it just thoughts and everything, but it's not that. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, writing days are my favorite part of the week.
Yeah, they're
That's
fantastic.
what I like the best.
I was going to do the next super chat.
Yeah.
All right, Quinn Dickinson, $5. Hey, Quinn.
Quinn's the guy with the fire truck that we did.
Yeah.
That was recent.
Yeah.
I wish I could come up for a podcast. Looks like fun. Also, any plans for an RCR meet in PA this year? I was talking to my friend Dieter about this because he was talking about, because he was going to be in PA because he's doing the other rally that's in Pittsburgh, and I forget.
Is he doing the Four Bangers Banger?
Yeah, I think he is.
Motherfucker, dude! Did I tell you about that? That's the next Lemons rally, the Four Bangers Banger.
Four Bangers Banger, as in Banger, PA.
Yeah, it starts in Bangor, Michigan. Goes over the top of the Great Lakes through Canada to Bangor, Maine. I think there's a Bangor somewhere in New England, and then Bangor, PA, and then back to Michigan.
Ooh.
Oh,
What time of year are they doing this?
I don't know.
Better not be now.
June.
Oh,
or
okay.
something.
Yeah.
Maybe they get away with
I
it
think
in
it's in
June.
the spring.
That-
Actually.
That sounds
That's
Terrible.
that's the longest one they've ever did.
Yeah.
probably
Oh, God.
entertaining.
Like one. I looked at the mileage for each day, and one day is 520 miles.
Oh,
That hurts.
that's
Yeah,
service.
the look in your eyes and the brows is like, who wants to? You gotta have a massive like.
Yeah.
Eric Root and him are devilish. I don't know if they'll do another rally like that just to say they're doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Do
I mean,
another rally like that again.
500 in a day, but every day,
No,
Or-
not every day. Most days are 340.
which is still a long day, but
Yeah.
doable. Yeah.
Yeah.
Jesus, that's crazy.
But as far as meets go, I mean, maybe something this year. I was hoping something maybe in the summer, like
Yeah.
early summer, so that we don't, because we're going to do a meet in Toronto.
Yeah, that's
And
in
so-
August. So we could do early summer. Like I'll look when the schools are getting out and then have one then.
Yeah, that'd be something. Now on to and thank you for the question, Quinn. Always good to see you pop up. Next up is from Vermin Supreme, $5. Love the content, guys. Just dropping some unsolicited advice to watch a show, Brooklyn Nine-Nine, if you haven't already.
That's a funny show.
Yeah, I mean, I've never. I have seen it before, but I haven't watched it with any sense of regularity. I know there was a huge uproar when Fox canceled it, but it was just a lateral move to NBC because NBC actually makes Fox was basically canceling something that they bought, but that they don't get the syndication money for because they didn't produce it like NBC did.
Mm.
So it's like this weird rights issue thing. So now NBC is back kind of where it belongs, under the umbrella of similar workplace comedies like The Office and Parks and Rec, which, obviously they're not on the air anymore, but that's not the point. It's just one of those things. And then, thank you for the recommendation, Vermin Supreme. Best of luck on your next run for the presidency.
Yeah.
P Melling 2293 $1.99. Thank you. Have you guys been offered an Mgb to review?
There's been a few. Most of them are very far out of the way.
Yeah.
When I was along with Justin Lose, who owned the Yugo, when we got to go into the basement of the Lane Auto Museum in Nashville, and they had like a 10,000 mile Mgb fastback. That was sexy. It's really the poor man's E-Type was the GT. They made some versions with some weird Grover V8. I don't know if it's the
Yeah.
Buick base ones.
Yeah. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah. This one had the 4-cylinder. I've done a few MGBs. I learned to drive stick on a 1975 MGB. I'd like to do one. MGBs only really come out in the summertime around here. I want to do one, but none too many around in Eastern PA. MGs are the old school Miatas
Mm-hmm.
and are often owned by older people who want that style of car and who of
And who are we going
and who of God damn it. And who are of our age.
Oh, wow.
There we
Oh,
go.
man.
That's Twister, yeah.
Just buy a Miata.
Yeah, you won't have to work on it every 5 seconds.
Right.
Oh, I better go out and tinker with the MG again.
Yeah. So they are owned by older people who typically don't like dick jokes. So, or who just want to spend their entire time, and they may make a Austin Powers reference, but that's as far as they'll go as far as comedy. So MGB, surprisingly, a little bit of slim pickings, but there are some in my email, and we will do one at some point.
Yeah. All right. Thank you for the donation. George Bull McLean, once again, £2. Thank you very much. CNN, where did you go? Most trusted name in chat. Oh, I remember that poster. The CNN most trusted name in news.
Yeah.
Poster. But I mean, I guess we don't really get many gimmick posters. Really,
That was a fun day. That was a
Yeah.
profitable day
yeah.
for people just super chatting, saying CNN, your most trusted name in news.
Really? Because I think the first time that I came on, the CNN the CNN
They
person
were.
was posting.
Yeah.
And I was like, why is CNN posting on this right now?
Why are they donating $1?
Yeah, like, why are they doing this?
I'm not complaining.
That was funny. Roman, I don't need to jump in. There was a
Oh,
bunch
go
of
for it.
guys that went through that were asking about the giveaway. I think they weren't sure
about the
what
like
the time
whether
frame
it's-
was on it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Please.
so the giveaway, so Wing King 76 is one of them. The giveaway is not over. The giveaway goes until March 3rd at 11:59 p.m. It's not being given away here. We've just had the car. We've lent the car to Brian to RCR as the first press car for him to do a little, what's it like to live with, an Evo 9. So
and
that
it's-
video will be coming out soon, and will be very entertaining.
Yes, it is an upcoming video. It's not the video that came out last week of Brian kind of showing the, like, hey, we got a press car. It's like an actual video.
Yeah,
And we both saw the cut, and like we both really enjoyed it.
yeah, it's hilarious.
And so it's one of those things where, I mean, I think, if you wanted something that's closer to kind of season 1, season 2 RCR, that's more or less what you're going to get. But for now, you don't have to be local to win the.
No, yeah.
Contest.
So that's another question. Like, where am I eligible?
Yeah.
Because we get a lot of guys asking from like Europe and Asia, and you're eligible if you're over 18 and you're a resident of the U.S. or Canada, except for Quebec because they have silly rules about giveaways. But you just go to our website, burndriven.com. Everything is on there. All of our merch is on there. You buy whatever you want. Details are on there. And so if you forget that we talked about the March 3rd being the deadline here on the podcast, you can reference the website anytime. Shoot us an email, shoot us a Facebook message, whatever you want.
Yeah. Hopefully that answers your questions. And hopefully you enter to possibly win this Evo 9.
Have the third RCR subscriber.
Winner.
People are
Yeah.
going to start talking.
Yeah. The next one is Mayra, $9.99, money for sheets later. So we just hadn't gotten to it
That's
yet.
funny. That's funny.
So there we go. Very nice. And thank you so much for the sheets. Because, burritos. Fiero Fan 86, $1.99. Thank you so much. Fiero, because Murica.
Yeah.
And that's it.
And that's it. The only reason. Yeah. We're not talking about
We're
Fiero.
GM. Let's throw a car together and realize we're competing against ourselves.
And now we are all caught up. Back to Aaron
R.
Abril.
Abril. Thank you so much, Nick, for
Oh,
screenshotting
absolutely.
those. Just adopted, and thank you, Aaron R. I see what you did there. $6.90. Nice.
Nice.
Just adopted another car, a 2006 Lexus GS300 all-wheel drive with a dead motor. How bad will I want to shoot myself if I do the motor myself versus pay someone? You want to do the motor yourself. My suggestion is to buy another engine that already runs and put it in there. Do you agree?
100% in agreement.
Yeah.
Buying or building motors that have never run before is not for the meek.
Yeah.
Or cost or time or frustration conscious.
Exactly.
Yeah.
For crying out loud, that's what I wish I would have done with my friggin' head unit. I could just did what you recommended and just get one of those.
Pay
with the
for Crutchfield.
Yeah,
and
Crutchfield. There it is.
to
Yeah.
build the thing.
Yeah, I mean, that was the part of the impetus behind the Gen 4 and the MR2s in the beginning was, one, something more modern and reliable, but two, it made significantly more power than the old motor,
Yeah.
and it was a factory assembled motor.
Yeah.
So it'll work. Your guys ask me all the time, like, should I do a rebuild on my Gen 2 or a build on it or do a Gen 4? I said, do you want it to start in the morning? Yes, I'd like you to start in the morning. Then you put Gen 4 in.
Yeah.
They're like, well, do I need to rebuild that before it goes in?
No.
Toyota didn't build an engine to go 50,000 miles and then be like, whoop, we need to rebuild.
Yeah.
It's not a flat 6 air-cooled 911 engine.
Yeah.
Okay? It was that's a build of any kind is only if you are very brave.
Yeah. Sometimes people don't trust a terse response of
Yeah.
where they are expecting there to be more to it. It's like that loss in translation bit where the Japanese director is feeding Bill Murray the lines and the translator just shortens whatever it is the director's saying. He's like, are you sure that's all? Because it seems like he said quite a bit more.
Yeah.
But I think people's expectations about the amount of work that's involved on certain things, they build it up in their mind that it's going to be this big Marty and Moog thing that we're just going to, it's,
or a Wheeler
And
Dealers
EDM
episode.
music is going to play while you put the engine together.
At 30 times speed. Yeah.
Like if I would have gone back in time, the Vagabond Falcon would be running a 4.8 LS.
We talked about this.
That I'd pull from a van.
Mm-hmm.
And it would be a 4.8 LS that already has 200,000 miles on it. Like if it went 200, it's a GM engine, it'll go another 100,000 miles. That has never been apart, but instead it's a completely rebuilt Ford small block, which then went back because it was leaking oil. It looks nice. It's a traditional you see it,
your enthusiasm is just boiling over.
It looks nice, like the kind things I can say about the 302 Redeemer, the engine that's in there. It looks nice when I open the hood, and it makes old people smile. And yes, it's a traditional resto mod. It's about as modern as you can get and still be completely analog and old school. The most modern thing that's in there is the Pertronics distributor.
So if smiles secured by polygrip get you going,
that's a line.
Smiles, that's good. I like that. That could be a shirt.
That could be a shirt.
You have copyright on that?
Oh, well, polygrip, no. I imagine that people of polygrip would have something to say.
Ben Black, no questions, but thank you for $10. I think we've been going for a while. I think I'm going to get the sign because we have a lot to get through. And I guess you wanted to start the podcast earlier so you can get going. But if not, the futon is yours if you need it.
I'm going to take
depending on what your schedule is for tonight.
Yeah, we're good.
And I'm going to grab a leak now that I don't need to read questions. Not that that was a problem. I do enjoy reading things.
I think people can see this because now that I have a new laptop, I don't want to smudge it up. Yep, people can see that. We are no longer accepting Super Chat questions. So please, no more Super Chat questions. We're going to get through every single one now. Burgundy Burnouts again, to show you how fast he finally responded. Yes. After this is what he's going to build after this. After the Firebird STI, I'll be doing a Firebird with a 3S GTE in the back under that huge glass fastback. That's what he wants to do.
Burgundy Burnouts, you are my hero.
This guy knows where he's taking. You shouldn't. It has to be a 4th gen. Please do a 4th gen.
Because then you could actually drive it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That is awesome.
Yeah.
That Firebird I drive.
No. Oh, that turbo noise is pissing people off.
Oh, man.
Your weight distribution is going to be fucked, but you're going to be.
Yeah, but you're in a Firebird. So, you're not going on corners. That's awesome.
Wreck, thank you for your generous donation. Says, you said you had a cold. Here, go grab you some liquid hot brown and a few cups of So British Brown. Thank you so much, Wreck. Thank you for your donation. I've got some tea. There are plenty of lozenges. I've got store brand NyQuil that I'm hitting up tonight. I had this like old man thing where I've been waking up these past 3 nights with a coughing fit at around 5 in the morning, and just you can't fall back asleep. Other times I doubled down with another hit of the NyQuil, and then you sleep till 11. So tonight I'm not going to take the NyQuil until I go to bed instead of like an hour before, because I do like the high or the loopiness, and then I listen to Vaporwave, and then I go to bed. But then I've lost like an hour and a half of the good stuff of it kicking in. Anyway, Hamza, and I guess this is referring to the Evo 9, says, Hamza says, just remove the blow-off valve if you want that flutter noise.
Yeah, I mean, I run no blow-off valve just like we do on the Gen 4s on any stock turbo car. Well, okay, any Japanese stock turbo car. Many of the old '90s turbo cars, the more limited production ones, didn't come with blow-up valves anyway.
Really?
Because you don't need it. Like if you're running like 1,000,000 pounds of boost on a huge ass turbo, like all right,
Yeah.
probably you could use one. But yeah, no, you could do it on anything. The Evo's on the stock blow-off valve. That's a factory blow-off valve.
That's a factory blow-off valve in there. It's that loud on factory.
Yeah.
Excuse me. I've been misrepresenting this. I thought it was that loud that it had some aftermarket thing. That's
I mean, the in-gen piping, amplifies it,
oh, okay.
and the intake amplifies it. That's where you get the extra noises from.
Oh.
But that's the stock blow-off valve. Yeah, because it's an Eva. It's got an angry blow-off valve from the factory. The Mitsubishi wants you to hear that blow-off valve.
I believe it.
Disgruntled Fairy says, roast my 2005 Vibe GT. You're too poor to afford a Matrix. I know it's the same car, but somehow the Vibes were cheaper.
Yes, because they're Pontiac.
Oh, I don't want to look like my dad. Most of the Pontiac versus Vibes that I see around here are Pontiacs.
Yeah.
Yes.
But when I think about it, I would rather have that Toyota badge up front.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, my brother used to have a Vibe, and I drove it around. It wasn't very good, which I'm sure is shocking to hear. But I don't know. It's the type of car that screams, I have a girlfriend who has an Instagram and she only posts textiles.
Mm.
Like, I realize textiles is already a word, but I mean it as text tiles.
Tiles. Yes.
Yeah. If you can't accept me, blah, blah, blah,
If you can't accept me at my blah, you don't accept me at my blah. His hands look like my hands look like this, so her hands look like this. But it's just a picture of a dick.
That's a lie.
Mary Elizabeth Bauer says, I love the show. My 2000 Mini was totaled from a drunk. Sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
She wasn't the.
I hope.
She wasn't the drunk, was she?
I hope not.
Somebody else, right?
Yeah.
Somebody else.
No. Hey, as you're still typing, so you're doing okay.
Yeah.
Thanks for your donation. Thank you, sir, ma'am. Sir, ma'am. Crazy Ivan 2 times wouldn't be a podcast without you. Mr. Regular or Roman, will you be my Valentine? Lol.
Sure, why not? I mean,
Yeah.
honestly, I don't think I've ever actually. Oh, wait, no, once. Yeah, one time I was with someone on Valentine's Day. Like I was in a relationship during Valentine's Day. And I think the most obnoxious thing about it is that it's expected to somehow be different than any other day. People who get on the consumerism soapbox about Christmas somehow leave Valentine's Day untouched.
They do.
And I'm like, well, if your relationship is secure, then Valentine's Day is just another day. Now mine wasn't, but that's not really the point. It's just one of those days where, you can maybe have an excuse to have sex because, I don't know, the things have fallen apart and the flame isn't there like it used to be. It's just you're rubbing sticks together and you're not getting any smoke. And then you realize that you're laying next to someone who has this whole inner world that you're not a part of. And then, you're thinking about what they're thinking about, and you realize that what they're thinking about is probably something so infinitesimally immaterial to anything that you could possibly be thinking about, that they're thinking about, that you allow the relationship to eat itself from the inside like some sort of horrifying tapeworm that you can't shit out.
Oh, wow.
But so, yeah, it's one of those things. Valentine's Day is fun. And he said nobody. Said absolutely nobody. Like, there's Galentine's Day. There's Palentine's Day. There's all these other days. And every other day is a national day of something. The other day was National Pizza Day. We're not celebrating that.
No.
So why do we... It's just...
Valentine's Day used to be a lesser Halloween in elementary school. You get candy, but you had to work for it by writing Valentine's to people in the class you didn't really like.
No, and then that's opening up an entire Pandora's box of them to get the wrong idea, Ralph Wiggum style. You know, it's like I didn't choose you. This card did, and I felt bad for you, Ralph. Let's be real.
Boomers for Fetterman, thank you for your donation, asks, can I bribe you to read the shirtless excuse me. Shirtless Biden washes Trans Am in White House driveway article from The Onion in your Boomer Mix 2005 voice from the Cadillac XLR review. So when I read the Boomer Mix 2005, it was just me in a disappointed voice. So I suppose I could. I mean, yeah, you bribed me, so like a cop, I'm throwing away the evidence. So, if someone else can pull up that Onion article.
All right, let me highlight, and then, all right.
The
Shirtless Biden washes Trans Am in driveway. Let's see. Here we go. Bringing it up. I'm going to close this window so that you can read it.
Washington. Taking advantage of the warm spring weather Monday, Vice President Joe Biden parked his 1981 Trans Am in the White House driveway, removed his undershirt, and spent a leisurely afternoon washing the muscle car and drinking beer. This baby just needs a little, I don't know why I'm doing that voice. I don't know how Joe Biden talks.
He's regressed.
This baby just needs a little scrub down, said Biden, undressing a tour group as he tucked the sweat-covered top into the belt loop of his cut-off jean shorts. Gotta get her looking good so I can impress the chicks when I'm cruising down Pennsylvania Avenue. White House aides said that Biden pulled into the driveway shortly before noon. The chorus of Night Rangers, "You Can Still Rock in America," blaring from his car's stereo. According to witnesses, Biden spent several minutes maneuvering the Trans Am into the perfect spot and was observed drumming his fingers on the steering wheel until the song came to a close. The shirtless 66-year-old then entered the executive residence and greeted employees with a round of high fives and a variety of nicknames. Hey, hot stuff, looking good, Biden told a passing aide. Would you know where I could get a little bucket and sponge action? My mean machine needs to be cleaned. After acquiring the necessary washing materials, the bare-chested second-in-command returned to the driveway, where he spent several moments staring in apparent awe at the Firebird decal on the hood of his car. Biden, who purchased the white Pontiac in 1983, has made an annual tradition of taking time off each spring to wash and tune up his vehicle. In 2008 alone, the veteran politician reportedly missed 24 Senate sessions in order to spend some quality time taking care of his baby. He does this every year, and it really seems to rejuvenate him, Senator Christoph Dodd, Democrat, Connecticut, said. Back in 2001, the car was up on blocks in the National Mall, and he was so busy rotating those tires, how long does that take, that he bailed on the confirmation hearing for Secretary of State. I hate it when people get Carfax wrong. He was so busy rotating the tires. All right, you have an electric impact gun. What are you going to do, though, Dodd added. The car rocks. This article keeps going. As Biden gently applied sponge to the hood and moved in small circular motions across the car's contours, a number of White House interns walked by and caught the vice president's attention. She's a real beaut, ain't she? Said Biden, popping an open, wide mouth can of Coors Light and tilting back his head to take a long drink. Back when Smokey and the Bandit came out, everybody wanted the black paint job, but looking back now, I'm thankful the dealership didn't have it in stock. Oops, looks like I got a little Brawa in the flavor saver, added Biden, referring to his wispy 4-day-old mustache. Any of you girls care to join me for another tall boy? Biden spent the next 15 minutes boasting about the features of his Trans Am. Dude, okay, I'm almost done. They don't make kick-ass T-tops like this anymore, sweetheart, said Biden, shaking his head in exaggerated disappointment. And check out these gold snowflake rims. They're a real bitch to clean, but they're totally worth it. Back in the day, we used to call them panty melters, Biden continued. One babe caught a glimpse of those rims, and after a Cinderella concert in '86, and she couldn't get into that backseat fast enough. If any of you girls want to take a ride, just let old Joe know. For the remainder of the day, Biden occupied himself with hosing off his car, giving the side doors an extra coat of wax, and throwing out a variety of items from beneath its front seats, including a crumpled up fast food wrappers, a number of soft packs of Doral Kings, an issue of Cherry magazine from '91, and Senate Bill Section 486. According to White House officials, Biden was still hanging out in the driveway long after dusk, revving the engines at passersby and explaining the intricacies of a turbocharged V8 motor to anyone within earshot. As of press time, Biden had convinced Jennifer Brittmore, a 41-year-old mother of 4 visiting from Indiana, to let her show him around D.C. There you go. Can't remember that article being that long. I guess I never read the whole thing.
Clearly, because it was too long.
Dade Socks. Thank you, Dade, for your donation. Opinion of a Dodge Dakota V6 from 2005. I wanted a Ranger, but I need more space, but I have less money. Oh, this throat. Dodge Dakotas. The only brand to rust more than Nissans.
True story. True story. My best friend's dad had one of those Dakotas. His was the Magnum, though.
I can't do the gravelly voice. You're gonna save my throat. I just for those of you listening in iTunes, I just tilted back a jar of honey into my mouth. Oh, it's so delectable. I think I'll leave this by my bedside tonight. I'm not joking.
Maybe that's what I need.
God damn it.
Why don't people do this for everything?
I know this is straight sucrose. Wake me up. But goddamn, that's soothing. Wreck, again, thank you. $10. This is actually to save my throat. I wonder if Justin could read this one. It's the yellow bar up there. It's a prime question.
Oh, here we go. Took a look at Prime Driven, but you're close. Like the keychains, would you be willing to do a classic GTR style manifold? I'd love to rock it in mine. So you want a GTR style manifold keychain? That's what you're saying? I'd have to talk to our manufacturers and see if we can get something like that going. If you can, shoot us an email through the website and copy this in there, and I'll see what I can do.
Thank you very much. I see a bunch of those keychains where people just have what looks like the head gasket, like on the end of the thing. I've seen Subarus. You have 2 of them there dangling around. I'm a big fan of the fabric ones that we sell through Moto Loot, and I think you sell a few of them as well. The Keytags, because they don't weigh
tags.
Yeah. They don't weigh the keychain down.
Yeah,
and I'm a big fan of not putting any more pressure on that key barrel than needs to be there. Excuse me. Burnt Coolant Productions. Great to see you on the podcast again, Justin. Here's some money because I love you guys so much. No question, but hey, thank you so much.
Thanks, Burnt Coolant Productions. Also, great name. Do you own a Gen 2 3 SGT MR2?
Hayden Hicks says spending money on Valentine's Day is pointless, but RCR is worth supporting. Love you guys from Tucson, Arizona. Yeah, we've been meaning to. Thank you, sir. Thank you for your donation. Thank you. And I've been wanting to come to Arizona maybe next year. I wonder if this could be a thing like every March I fuck off from Pennsylvania to just go somewhere else that isn't cold. Because usually one time March rolls around, I'm pretty much done with winter. Because every year it's the same thing in PA in March. Hey, it just turned spring. I thought it was supposed to be spring, but it's still snowing. That's like the height of the seasonal depression disorder.
Yeah.
And it just makes April worse. But if I can get a little shot, man, I really am turning 40, aren't I? Dreaming about warm weather at the end of winter.
It begins.
Yeah,
RCR relocates to Tampa, Florida.
Oh, God, Florida. Fuck you.
Shuffleboard and Cadillacs.
Oh, all my relatives. My mom goes to Florida like 3 times a year. Like, Florida is fun when you're 12.
And never again.
And if you do coke later in life, then yeah, sure. But God, Florida, it's like everything. They shove a grid on everything. There's no driving roads.
No, nothing.
What people think of when they think of Florida, they think of, Miami Vice, or they think of like Disney theme parks.
Yeah, Miami and Orlando are separate things from the rest of Florida.
What you really have is a lot of swampland.
Yeah.
And a lot of weird backwater roads and that aren't even really roads because the flood level is.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know why anyone retires there when you're under threat of complete upheaval every season.
Apparently, the land value isn't as expensive as people think they is, with the exception of Miami and Orlando.
Correct. Yeah, your value proposition, Florida, for real estate, if you're not in like Orlando or Miami, is shocking.
Yeah,
and
you get all the weather. You get the nice weather.
Yeah, and when you're older, like your joints don't like the cold. Your blood thins. That makes you not like the cold. But the big one for a lot of my associates is Florida is one of 6 states in the United States that has no income tax, state income tax. So, if you're, at any amount of level that's functional, but if you're a guy that's making, like a few $100,000 a year or a couple million a year, that like 7% state income tax, she adds up.
Yeah, she does.
So you got a cheaper house. You can get the exact same house you got in New Jersey for $500,000 for $200,000. So you just netted $300,000 cash.
Yeah.
You can put that to work somewhere else.
Yeah.
Buy up a bunch of other rental properties and stuff.
Yeah.
And then every paycheck you pay yourself, or you're paying out from your from your mutual fund.
Right. There you go.
Every single time you extract money from something, you just save 7%.
Yeah. Damn.
Yeah. That's good math. That's what most people are going to make their return on their mutual fund.
Damn.
So now you're making 15%.
Never thought of it that way.
Yeah.
Still don't want to move.
No. Like I've tried to convince myself just for that logic.
Yeah.
Repeatedly. And then I go down there in June to see my grandfather, and I'm like, I can't do it. I run too hot innately. Like I'm sweating constantly normally.
Yeah.
And you put me in that environment.
Walking out of that hotel in Bradenton, like it was nice at 6 a.m, and then the rest of that day was I can't think. Out here.
Yeah, I went to school down there. I went to school at University of Central Florida.
Really?
Yeah, for a year and a half, and I just couldn't take the weather anymore. And every day at 4 o'clock it rains. Torrential. Which is always when I was walking home from class. Yeah, I can't. I still can't do it.
Yeah, can't have it, won't have it.
Damn. Yeah. Dade Socks says, and that was, I think, with a vibe. Thanks for the roast, by the way. Nice. Well, then, owning it's the best way to do anything. Aaron R. Arbrel again saying a clarification super chat. Thank you again for doing that. Clarity. I'm already buying the motor regardless. I guess buying a new motor to swap into that.
The build versus
the Lexus SC300. Is it worth doing myself or fling the car and motor at someone? Well, do you know how to wire? Have you done this before? And if the answer is no, like if this is okay, answering this means asking a whole bunch of other questions.
Yes, great many.
Do you have a garage? Is it a 2-car garage? Are you open to the idea of failing to do this? If you fail and you just laugh it off and then you go to a guy, fine, do it. You'll learn a lot. Benjamin Franklin says, experience keeps a dear school, but fools will learn from no other. And I'm an example of that. I learned a ton about small block Fords from doing the Falcon. You will, by doing the motor yourself, will absorb knowledge through your fingers. It's a wonderful way to learn, and you'll probably keep you'll take that forward for the rest of your life. If you're doing it for the first time, it will definitely be more expensive than having a professional mechanic do it, who have swapped engines before. Here's an interesting question. Does a wiring harness come from your new engine? And is there anything wrong with your old one? If the answer is no, and if it's just all plug and play, then fine. I don't know if Toyota did Subaru things where they changed little things throughout the year.
Oh, yes.
Oh, they did.
Yep. In 93, they changed all the connectors. It's significant changes.
Okay. So then you have to find if that's an exact same engine from the same part of the year going into that car.
Yep.
Yeah. Justin Kramer did that on a 03 Forester, and he just pulled a junkyard engine. It's like, well, it's an EJ25. Oh, not the same.
Mm-hmm.
MAF sensor's in a different place. This is in a different place. Like, the motherfucker, why are they doing this?
Yeah.
So then he's there getting connectors, splicing things in, and like to get that check engine light, it wasn't idling right.
Yep.
It was on a different thing. It was getting the wrong data.
Yes. And even if this is a big scenario we used to end up in a lot when we were still swapping and fixing cars, was people would contact us with their car that either they or another mechanic had screwed up, generally pretty badly, and then they wanted us to make it right. And generally that situation involved, if we took the job on, it was lots of hacked up wiring. So the wiring would just get pulled out and good wiring would get put in, like a whole harness. There would be no repairing the harness that was there. That's just, polishing a turd. But the most expensive swap you will ever have done is after you've started it yourself or another mechanic has started it. Because if you go to a professional specialist with a messed with by anybody else setup, not a stock your parts scenario, they will charge you way more for the annoyance, frustration, extra time, and hassle of not asking them what you should have done in the first place, and now to pay for it. You're not paying extra. It's not like they're screwing you. You're going to get charged for everything because every single thing is going to have to be redone. It was constant. If you brought us a swap way back in the day when we would do them for like $5,000, if you bought us a swap that somebody else had started and messed up, or you had started and messed up in pieces, it's 10. And it's probably going to be more because we're undoing basically everything.
Yeah.
And then replacing a lot of things that you've already modified because they're not usable anymore. Yeah. Do not get in that situation. The only way to avoid that situation is to commit to doing it yourself and find some friends who can help you.
Okay.
Which is like the MR2 is like we put out the DIY kit when we stopped swapping cars so that people had a plug and play solution. Here's how we used to build them. Here are all the parts. You can do plug and play yourself and it will work. Now, if you have a hacked up car, it's not going to work. You need to go get good stock harnesses, put them in the car. Then you can plug everything in and make it work. It's the worst waste of money I've ever seen repeatedly is messed up starting it when you shouldn't or pay someone that you shouldn't. And then you get it a fraction of the way done, but it's just all wrong done, not progress done, and be prepared to pay the piper.
I never thought of it that way.
And or potentially never get it finished because guys like me won't take it on. Like if you exist and we exist to just do builds,
Yeah.
we stopped taking those on because we could swap 3 cars for guys. We could have 3 guys get a car on the road, their cars on the road. In the same time, they would have taken us just to get that car done. And that guy is going to be pissed when it's done because it's going to be so expensive. Even though I told them what it was going to cost.
Yeah.
Well, but my car was mostly done. All you did was finish it. That's what they would think.
Yeah.
No,
No, we're not starting at your starting line.
Yeah,
We're
that's not how it works.
way back at the bleachers.
That's why you're here.
Yeah.
You're here because you have not even vaguely close approached the finish line.
Yeah.
You started wrongly.
Mhm.
And a lot of times it's not like their fault. It's not like most guys don't have any references for or experiences for swapping cars before they swap their first car.
Yeah.
That's why it's your first car.
Yeah.
But if you've done it twice and messed it up, well, you're going to end up without a lot of money. Yeah.
That's
Yeah. Like I'm all
very
for
good financial
learning,
advice.
but yeah, like after doing it for 10 years and after owning MR2s for 20 years and messing stuff up myself too, it's not like I'm some kind of prophet here. This is through hard-earned trial and error and expense that I'm proffering this advice.
Yeah, it's like Yoda said in The Last Jedi, failure is the greatest teacher.
It's the only way you learn. You don't learn by successes because you don't know what you did wrong.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a good
Fail forward
That is a good
fast.
point.
What was that? Fail forward fast.
Fail forward fast, yeah. You want to accelerate your learning? Fail faster.
Ah.
Accelerate. Compress time. Yeah.
Dade Socks says, "I'm the one with the Dodge." Oh, excuse me. Sorry about that. Thank you for your donation. Fiero Fan 86 says, "You heard the man. Thank you for your donation. No more super chats. Thank you for your donation." I think that's the end.
That is the last
Yeah.
one.
People keep saying Barra swap. We don't get Barras in the U.S. They were never sold here. I agree. There are very sexy things about an inline turbocharged straight six, but there's no parts network in the U.S. for that sort of thing.
No, and if you want that, you have it in a German car and 4 Japanese cars now because we have the imported ones too. You want turbo straight 6? No problem. What's your budget?
Yeah.
And are you doing your own maintenance?
Yeah.
If it is, don't get the German one.
Bruce Hen just has this little thing like, "Do you think you could do blah, 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 blah?" And he just looks at you dead in the eyes and goes, makes the little for those of you listening, he's making the 3 fingers rubbing together money symbol. All it takes is money.
That's what Rome and I were talking about earlier. You got enough time and money, you can accomplish almost anything. But generally, that time and money are going to be multiples of what you think they are.
Oh, gosh, they are.
Somebody in the chat actually said that. Yeah. Hamza, who's been commenting constantly. Dude, don't do the swap. Take your budget and multiply it by 3. Yes, most people have again, through usually no fault of their own, they don't understand that with any engine swap, the engine is by far and away the cheapest component. But everyone thinks it's the most expensive component.
Yeah.
Individually, it probably is.
The most expensive part of the Falcon was the suspension. Yeah.
Well, and let's say you're not even touching anything but the engine bay.
Really?
It's still not your most expensive component. Yours is because it's carburetor, right? So like, there's nothing else in there besides that. In an MR2,
I just rebuilt the carburetor and put it on. Ran fine.
Yeah, no. In the MR2, the Caldina motor, Gen 4 motor, is $1,200, and all the other parts you need are $4,000. If you want it to be plug and play and done how we used to do it, like to look like a giveaway car engine bay. That's what it's going to take. It's $5,000 in parts. Can you do it cheaper? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Am I going to be able to help you if you mess with a bunch of stuff and don't do it the way that we're telling you is the most efficient and functional way? Probably not. If you hacked up your harness, I can't help you because your diagnostics don't work. Guys have had diagnostic ports removed by mechanics.
Okay.
And I'm like, explain to me why they would remove the factory diagnostic port.
They
It's
get
not
the
in
check
any
engine
way
light
a
to turn
problem.
off.
Well, potentially, but
Yeah.
that wouldn't make it turn off.
Oh.
That would just make you not be able to tell what the check engine light means because then you can't jump it. And everybody thinks, oh, it's OBD2 now. Yeah, it's JOBD2. You can't scan that with the US scanner. And you're going to have a bunch of phantom, dummy codes. Like resistor packs and automatic transmission shift solenoids when you're doing a Gen 4.
I see.
Because, it was in an automatic transmission car in Japan.
Oh,
The
okay.
guys will be like, what's this code 78? That's a resistor pack. Forget about it. It's not important.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, if you're gonna do a swap, that's good advice. Triple your budget and triple your time, and that's probably what you'll end up at.
Matt Happel is doing a project right now called 8s for 8, an 8-second car for $8,000. What he bought is an SN95
Okay.
Mustang, because Fox bodies are priced way out now, and even he admits he himself drove up the price of Fairmonts because they're still Fox bodies.
Mm-hmm.
Because everybody said, "Oh, Fox body, Fairmont, the cheap Fox body. Now you can have an LS in this." So like, okay, SN95s are at the bottom. So what he found was a roller where all the suspension work was done, no engine trans. So his like, okay, now we get our 5.3, now we get our 4L80, now we get and he had it already has a built A8 in the rear, 8.8 rear end.
Mm-hmm.
So all the expensive stuff in there, it needs engine transmission wiring. So
But to do an 8-second quarter
for $8,000, yeah.
I mean, like, does he already have all the other stuff? Like, he's obviously going turbo or supercharged.
Yeah, he's going turbo. He's going
Lots of
Chinese
power.
turbocharger.
Okay, and
He's probably going to decap the injectors instead of buying bigger ones.
right, so this is an 8-second car once.
Yeah, it's probably he wants to. What he said in the video is that he wants to be able to drive it to the track and drive it home.
Oh, bold.
Yeah, I don't know what this thing's going to be.
I look forward to
videos will be
seeing it.
there. Yeah,
I look forward to seeing it. Because
now if he he's now sponsored by Milwaukee and a bunch of other people. So if there's sponsored parts layered on top of that, I'm like, okay.
yeah, okay. If you're the guy with all the skills and the resource and the space,
Yeah,
and the know-how, and you're gonna have everything sponsored given to you.
yeah,
Yeah,
then
okay,
an
yes.
$8,000 thing.
But then the $8,000 is not real money anymore.
That's what I want to know. I'd like
Playing
to.
with house,
I wonder
playing with
if
house
he'll publish the Excel sheet at the end of this, like where he adds everything up.
I've seen a couple YouTube guys do stuff like that recently, and I thought that was refreshing
Yeah,
because most people have no idea what stuff costs, like, and all the little stuff.
Yeah,
like we would have like $300 of hardware on an invoice.
wow.
The car that came in with just like all wrong hardware, stripped out hardware, broken hardware.
Yeah,
Like OEM hardware is expensive.
yeah. The Falcon, even with 7 sponsors on that car, was still $17,800 to build. And
Parts
that's with-
only or parts only?
That's parts only. I had free labor.
Yeah, okay.
That's still
Yeah.
$17,000
Yeah.
worth of stuff.
Because I was just about to call you a liar if you said it was parts and labor.
This person in the regular chat has a quick question that is, I'm getting my first car soon. I'm 18. I'm looking at getting a 91 Pontiac Firebird. Do you think that is a good enough starter for me?
91 Firebird, 91 as your first car.
How do you define good enough starter? Does it start? That's my
Yeah.
first question.
90.
I mean, a lot of people in the chat are saying no.
Yeah, I mean, even if like, look, if it has a 350 in it already, you got Summit Racing to take care of you. But again, money. You like, if it's a fun car, a second car, hell yeah. You get your Corolla, you get your Civic as your AND car to get you around. I had this conversation with somebody, I forget where, who said, "Oh, can I?" It was an MR2 question, like, "Hey, can an MR2 be a first good car?" And I'm like, "No, no, not a daily, no."
I still get that regularly.
Yeah,
And it doesn't have anything to do with what most people are thinking it has to do with. They're like, well, it's a 90s Toyota. It's super reliable. Yes. 27 years ago, it was extremely reliable. 10 years ago, it was still pretty ridiculously reliable. It's now a 27-year-old car.
yeah,
Toyota built a nearly indestructible car, or all their cars in the 90s.
Yeah.
But eventually, everything breaks.
yeah, yeah.
And if you're buying a cheap one, which if it's your first one, you probably are,
Yeah.
your problems aren't related to what Toyota did. They're related to what everybody else did after them.
Yeah, now we have the environment and everything
Yeah,
else.
yeah. No, yeah. If you're buying a first car, mean, my first car was a 1993 Saturn SL1.
Nice.
Base model, rubber bumpers, manual steering and windows. Gold on beige.
Oh.
Yeah, come on.
Oh.
Just
beating them off with both hands.
Oh,
Oh,
Eric
man,
Pedersen is in the chat. Sorry,
I got a couple tunnels.
One guy here, Eric Pedersen, he helped us out with road trips in the past. Went skiing with him. He lives out in San Diego. He sent me, and good that you're here. He sent me a picture of JDM Import right-hand drive 91 MR2 Turbo, and asking price 10 grand. And I said, "Is that a good buy?" And I said, and I looked at it again, ignoring the pictures because what can you tell? But there was someone says, "You may have to check with your local emissions laws. May not be legal in California." And I'm like, okay, that's the main thing. 10 grand is what you start with. You may be deep into 15, 16.
If you have to go smog emission, because
have
JDM
smog.
cars don't have emissions equipment.
Right.
There's no EGRs, which means it will not pass.
No.
Yeah, you have to do it right with factory parts at a certified mechanic shop. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I've heard there's some guys that sell GTRs out in California, and the conversion to make it fully California compliant is 15 grand on top
of
the car.
Yeah.
I was like, well, that $25,000 car not looking like such a good deal now.
Nope.
At 40 grand, buy a lot of other stuff.
Yeah. So my
if you live in California, it's so weird, right? Like it's such a huge car culture out there, and yet like almost everything's illegal.
Yeah.
But I think
like
the guys,
Australia.
but guys just drive things illegal.
Yeah.
Like they just
drive
do.
around with dealer plates on.
Yeah,
They never take their dealer plates
no
on.
big deal. I smogged it out in my cousin's county. Because there's a couple counties in California where they don't have smog. Because I had a customer who lived in one time, and he was emailing about a Gen 4 swap, and I was like, I'm not going to swap a car that's going to be illegal when it's done. And he was like, no, in my county, we don't have smog. And I said, okay then.
Yeah.
I think he was our one and only California customer for that reason.
Really?
Yeah. Lots of requests, but I'm not building an illegal car. It's not happening.
If there's any plugs you want to do, I can feel my throat is completely destroyed. If there's any plugs you want to do, go ahead.
No, I mean, it's been great being out again. First time here with Roman also.
It's
been a pleasure. Gotten a lot of comments on here.
About
are we brothers or am I your son?
Which I don't even know how that would work.
Yeah, well, maybe down south. But yeah, so primedriven.com is the website. Giveaway number 9, which is the Evo 9 MR plus 5 grand cash. Deadline to enter is March 3rd at 11:59 p.m. Just head over to primedriven.com, anything you want, and stay tuned for regular cars, Evo, or a little review.
What it's like,
video.
10 reasons, something. Why it's good to,
it's just gonna be great.
You're
gonna love it.
Just trust them.
You're gonna love it.
And when do you reveal the winner?
Yeah, so the winner gets announced roughly 10 days after the end, because it takes a while to get all the data crunched and then send it off. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. And then we will call the winner. We get this question all the time, like, "Did I miss your DM?" Like, no, we don't take any chances with those. We actually phone call the winner. Yeah.
Imagine that in this day and age, a phone call.
What's funny is a lot of times it takes multiple calls to get them on the phone.
I
don't pick up numbers I don't know.
That's true. Neither do I.
And it's not like we're posting like, here's the number it'll be coming from.
It is like if they leave a message, then I know it wasn't a robocall or anything like that.
Yes.
But if it's a number that I don't know, like I'm not going to answer that.
No.
I just don't.
No. I'm always amazed when any of them pick up.
Yeah.
Because like roughly, I would say maybe half of them picked up like in the first 2 rings, and I was like, you must not get a lot of telemarketer calls.
Yeah.
Like maybe you're on no lists. What's that like? But yeah, no, it's been great, and I hope you guys enjoy the next video that Brian did.
No, I hope you saw most of it. I hope you liked the VO, and thank you so much for coming out, answering questions. Thanks for helping us out.
Thanks for having me.
That's Prime Driven, keeping MR2s alive for the good of the world and Canada.
Yes. All right.
Shout out to
Yes, absolutely. Great place. And we will visit it in August.
Yep.
But for regular car reviews, I'm Justin. Wait, no, I'm Nick. I'm Nick. Why? Oh my God, why? No. All right, I'm Nick.
I'm Justin.
I'm Brian.
Thank you so much for joining us. Have a great night, everyone. Bloody hell. I bought into it.
I thought you did it on purpose.
No, I worked myself into a shoot.
How do I zoom out on a MacBook?
I mean, how does anyone do anything, really? If we're going to get philosophical.
True story.
I had a bag for these.
Yeah, it's right here.
Yeah, it's my new
Oh.
computer.